is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A woman shot dead and a 2-year-old boy in critical condition after being shot as well. Lawmakers urged to act on crime at the official start of the legal year. And mixed views on bail. We'll hear from what the Attorney General has to say as well. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, January 12th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking about dermatology and common skin issues facing people in the Bahamas. And later in business, we are talking with the Bahamas Humane Society, Operation Potcake. Just about to get started. What you need to know about this. That's all ahead, but first it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, investigations continue into the country's latest murder. A 56-year-old woman was shot and later died, and a 2-year-old boy was shot in the head and seriously injured off Market Street. This happened yesterday, the latest incident in an unrelenting crime wave that has gripped New Providence since the start of the year. It was the second murder to happen on the island in less than 24 hours. Chief Superintendent of Police Crystalyn Skipping says that 3 women and the toddler were in a vehicle headed west on Lily of the Valley corner around 11 a.m. when a gunman got out of nearby bushes. The man shot at the car, hitting the woman and the toddler. The shooter then fled the scene, and Skipping says police later arrested a 27-year-old man of Lily of the Valley corner in connection with the matter. The suspect is known to police. The driver of the car took the injured grandmother to the nearby Kwaku Street police station, where she and the 2-year-old boy were taken inside. Emergency medical services personnel responded and took them to the hospital. Skipping says that the woman died at the hospital and the child remains in critical condition. Well, amid that spate of murders here in New Providence, Reverend Harry Bain, Dean and Rector of Christ Church Cathedral, urging policymakers to act hastily to deal with what he believes is a crime crisis on the island. Speaking during the opening of the legal year yesterday, Bain said lawmakers need to do some serious work with respect to crime and penalties. He said, quote, "If the current laws and policies on our books are inadequate and antiquated, then it is the responsibility of our elected representatives to put in place legislation which addresses our present-day challenges and for them to be enforced. A lot of laws are on the books, but they are not being enforced. Well, while Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez has called for amendments to the Bail Act as a means to address crime, Attorney General Ryan Pinder says it's not necessary. Pinder on the sidelines of the opening of the legal year yesterday, saying, quote, "The Bail Act doesn't need to be amended. There's adequate protection and adequate ability for the judiciary to deny bail in certain circumstances. Those have been verified and decisions by the Court of Appeal made determination. So we just look for the denial of bail to occur in the situations that call for it." There have been 10 murders on New Providence since the start of the new year, nearly one a day. Pinder's comments coming again after Reverend Bain called for lawmakers to listen to the advice of the Commissioner of Police as he lamented the recent string of murders on the island. But Pinder is noting that in the past, the solution, as he has in the past, the solution does not lie in amending the Bail Act, but instead in the hands of judges whom he urged to review recent cases and determining instances in which bail can be reasonably denied. Two men are remanded to prison after being charged with murder. Prosecutors allege that Malik Smith and Galileo Gray are responsible for the fatal shooting of Gerard Coakley on January 2nd. He was gunned down after being ambushed by a gunman at his home in South Beach. The men were not required to plead to the murder charge and were denied bail yesterday. The matter is adjourned to May 22nd for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. That will fast-track the matter to the Supreme Court. Construction of a new state-of-the-art Supreme Court judicial complex is expected to begin later this year and should be completed in 2 years. Attorney General Ryan Pinder, KC, making the promise yesterday during the ceremony to mark the opening of the legal year. That ceremony was held in the ballroom at the Margaritaville Resort because the Supreme Court, historically used for the special sitting, could not accommodate the increased number of Supreme Court justices to 19. Pinder says that court infrastructure in today's environment is severely lacking, and judges might say that the state of the infrastructure restricts the ability to deliver justice in an efficient manner. Pinder says the new court complex would make it possible for specialty courts. He said the family court and juvenile court complex should be open in the first half of 2024. Overseas, U.S.-led airstrikes on Yemen's Houthi rebels in response to their attacks on Red Sea shipping pulled the world's focus back today on the years-long war raging there, even as tensions rise across the Middle East, already torn by Israel's war and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The strikes killed at least 5 people and wounded 6, according to the Houthis, without elaborating on what was targeted. As the bombing lit the pre-dawn sky over multiple sites held by the Iranian-backed rebels, Saudi Arabia quickly sought to distance itself from the attacks as it seeks to maintain a delicate détente with Iran and a ceasefire with the Yemen war, from which it hopes to finally withdraw. The attack also threatened to ignite a regional conflict over Israel's war on Hamas, which the Biden administration and its allies have been trying to calm for weeks. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy acknowledged an attack days earlier on a ship in the far reaches of the Indian Ocean, an attack that may signal Iran's willingness to strike vessels as part of a wider maritime campaign over the Israel-Hamas conflict. Tehran on Thursday separately seized another tanker involved in an earlier crisis over America seizing oil targeted by international sanctions on the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. It remains unclear how extensive the damage from the U.S. strikes were, though the Houthis said at least 5 sites, including airfields, had been attacked. The United Kingdom described its strikes hitting a site in Bani, allegedly used by the Houthis to launch drones, and an airfield in Abs used to launch cruise missiles and drones. And Taiwan is preparing to elect a president and legislature Saturday in what many see as a test of control with China, which claims the self-governing island republic as its own territory to be unified with force if necessary. The presidential race is tight, and both China and Taiwan's key ally, the U.S., are weighing in on political and economic issues that they hope will sway voters. The election pits Vice President Lai Ching-te, representing the Democratic Progressive Party, against Hu Yu-yi of the main opposition Nationalist Party and former mayor of the capital Taipei, Ko Wen-ji of the Taiwan People's Party. The U.S. strongly backs Taiwan against China's military threats, and the Biden administration plans to send an unofficial delegation comprised of former senior officials to the island shortly after the polls. The move could upset efforts to repair ties between Beijing and Washington that plunged in recent years over trade, COVID-19, Washington's support for Taiwan, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which China has refused to condemn at the United Nations. Along with the tensions with China, much of the election there hinges on domestic issues, particularly over an economy that was estimated to have grown only 1.4% last year. That partly reflects inevitable cycles in demand for computer chips and other exports from high-tech, heavily trade-dependent manufacturing base, and a slowing of the Chinese economy, but longer-term challenges such as housing, affordability, and a yawning gap between the rich and poor, and unemployment are especially prominent. In sports, fresh off its annual general meeting and election of officers, the Bahamas Chess Federation's National Chess Championships taking place at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture on Thompson Boulevard, University Drive. The opening ceremony took place last night and competition begins today. The closing set for Saturday, January 21st at 6 p.m. Read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, you've heard about this, I'm sure. Bill Belichick had a vision of building the kind of sustained championship football team that had rarely been seen before in the NFL before he was hired by the New England Patriots, and he is apparently walking away feeling like it was a job well done. The six-time NFL champion agreed to depart as the coach of the Patriots, ending his 24-year tenure as the architect of the most decorated dynasty of the league's Super Bowl era. Neither Belichick nor owner Robert Kraft took questions from the media, though Kraft said during an availability later in the day that the team missing the playoffs in 3 of the past 4 seasons factored into wanting to sever their relationship. Speaking to reporters from the podium where he had given so many terse, non-responsive post-game recaps, Belichick appeared in a jacket and tie and spoke, followed by Kraft, and even smiled a couple of times, including when he conceded respect for the media, quote, even though we don't always see eye to eye. The 71-year-old Belichick became just the 3rd coach in NFL history to reach 300 career regular season victories earlier this season, joining Hall of Famers Don Shula and George Halas with 333 wins, including the playoffs. Belichick trails only Shula with 347 for the record for victories by a coach. But the Patriots ended this season 4-13, his worst record in 29 seasons as an NFL head coach. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Sports brought to you by Kalik. Kalik inviting you to Phil Stubbs live at the amphitheater at the Nassau Cruiseport this Saturday, tomorrow. Join Phil Stubbs, Nishi LS, and Iris Store and the Spank Band for an amazing night of pure Bahamian music sponsored by Kalik and Ron Ricardo. General admission $50, VIP $75, SkyPods also available. Get your tickets now at bahamasettickets.com. That's Phil Stubbs and Friends live at Nassau Cruiseport on Saturday, January 13th, Don't miss it. And your first look at weather for today. We've got a broad ribbon of moisture associated with a persistent mid to upper level jet that's going to continue supporting cloudiness and occasional bouts of light shower activity over portions of the northwest Bahamas today. Elsewhere, expect sunnier conditions courtesy of a high pressure system in the central tropical Atlantic. Got a number of warnings though. So we've got a super new moon that's going to contribute to abnormally higher tides this weekend. And as a result, beachgoers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. Residents should also be aware that there's a possibility of fog formation during the early morning hours. We saw a little bit of that today. Fog may limit visibility and make it difficult for mariners and motorists to navigate waterways and roadways. And so everybody's being advised to exercise caution. And then in the northwest Bahamas, some marginal flash flooding is possible in flood-prone areas due to previous ground saturation. So for today, for the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for variably cloudy, warm, and humid conditions, with a few scattered showers in the afternoon, becoming fair and mild tonight. Showers will be intermittent and light to moderate in nature. Expect gradual clearing as the day progresses. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, then becoming southerly by late morning. Seas 1 to 3 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly and mostly sunny and warm with a slight chance of light stray showers, becoming fair, mild, and a bit breezy with a few light spotty showers tonight. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with slightly higher gusts in the southeast Bahamas beginning tonight. Seas 1 to 3 feet, but slightly higher along Atlantic coasts. Currently in Nassau, we're looking at highs getting up to around, today, look for highs getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Currently, it's about 75, cloudy skies. Look for lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook for your weekend coming up after traffic in just a bit. It is time for break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Champ, baby girl, Cable Guy is here.
Since the very beginning, you have been with us.
This is Paul Wade, and this is called the Internet.
Okay.
All right, so you can
For
type
over 2 decades, we've been with you every step of the way.
Weibo is total class. Look at her go. She's in front. My fellow Bahamians and residents.
So yeah, times may have changed, and so have your needs as our valued customers. But some connections stand the test of time. Rev, we're with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are now inviting passengers on board for the new JetBlue CIBC First Caribbean credit card. Earn up to 30,000 bonus TrueBlue points with your first transaction and earn on everyday purchases. Plus, get up to 10,000 anniversary bonus points every year after. Please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for takeoff. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/JetBlue for more information on where Blue can take you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Coming up this morning, we're going to be talking about your health, talking about dermatology and common skin issues affecting Bahamians. We're going to get into that this morning with Doctors Hospital. And later in business, we're talking with Bahamas Humane Society, Operation Potcake, about to get started. We'll get more details about that and the locations. We know those now. We'll tell you all about that and what we can do to help control the pet population here in the Bahamas. But right now, let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, the start of the new legal year, the official opening of the legal year, and while all the judges and the magistrates and the lawyers and the politicians and everybody got all dressed up and put on their wigs and robes and all that fancy stuff, the blood continued to flow in the streets of New Providence. And another murder. If it weren't so sad, it would almost be funny. Because how? Just 12 days into the new year that we could have this record. And now a 2-year-old boy is fighting for his life as well. Madness continues here in Nassau. For the latest on what happened with the latest homicide, take a listen to this report from our Vonnie Toot.
That I'm truly disgusted. That I'm truly disgusted today, at this moment.
A woman is dead and a 2-year-old boy is fighting for his life after police say a gunman opened fire on a car on Lily of the Valley corner around 11 a.m. Thursday. Police have arrested a suspect in connection with this incident. Police press liaison officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skipping says ShotSpotter technology alerted officers to the shooting.
3 females and a male toddler, age 2, were inside a gray small Japanese vehicle when a male emerged from nearby bushes and opened fire on the vehicle occupied by 3 females. The driver of the vehicle was able to continue along and came to the Martin Street Police Station.
EMS personnel were notified and rushed the woman and child to hospital,
where the adult female succumbed to her injuries, and the child is now in critical condition with gunshot injuries to the head. Something is wrong with that.
Skipping said the woman and boy are believed to be related. This is a silver Nissan Note the woman drove to Kwaku Street Police Station after she was shot. The vehicle was removed from the station as police continue their investigation into this latest killing. It comes one day after a 28-year-old man was murdered on Bell Close in Montel Heights. 3 females have been murdered just 11 days into the new year. One of them was only 16 years old. Skippings had this warning for criminals.
As an organization, we're waging war on the criminals. We're not going to relent. We will not. We will remain firm. We will remain focused until all of those persons who seek to disrupt this tranquil country is placed before the courts.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Tude.
All right. All week long, well, from the start of the year, this has been, I don't think we've ever had this, we've never had anything like this before. We've been on since January 2nd, and every single day we've had to talk about some violent incident, a murder. Every day. Now, I know people are angry. You can see that on social media. People are saying things, but are we as worried and upset and angry as we should be? We're not in Gotham. We're not in Gotham City, right? This is not the way this is supposed to work. I just feel like people are very casual and like, oh, well, it's not us. It's not me. It's not my family. I don't know them. That's those people. Do you get that? Stephen Hanna's joining us now. Okay. I don't think people, I don't see it. I mean, our only response so far has been, we're going to have a day of prayer, and it's not even the day. It's like in the evening. I
just want people to come, I guess.
Okay. This is it? We haven't heard from the National Security Minister officially. I think he spoke to one news agency on the side or something. There's been no national address from the Prime Ministers yet. Just in general, but specifically on this issue, by now we need to hear something. The police had a press conference, but that was to address specific cases and to say we're going to continue doing what we're doing. I don't know if this is the time to continue doing what you're doing. Like this actually, I mean, last week we were scoffing at people who talked about lockdowns and curfews and stuff, but actually we might need to be there. We might need to try something very dramatic for at least a moment.
But that would only stop the ones that happened like 1 a.m. The majority of these happen in broad daylight during business hours.
Well, that's just an example. But something needs to happen.
I'm saying so. Right? Like, I hear what you're saying.
Maybe the stop and frisk, like people are saying, like really seriously.
I want you to know that. Whatever that person thinks stop and frisk is, I hear them text every day, right?
It's more than one person.
Right, sure. Whomever it is, right? I hear the text every day, but I don't think they realize that they are not being stopped and frisked every day.
Yeah.
But there are people who are being stopped and frisked every day in this country. That is not changing the situation.
Well, that's a good point there. Yeah.
And so the problem is, we keep looking for a single solution, but it is a big problem that has more than one root.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if it was just one root, then they always do is just do this one thing and it'll be fixed. But it's not. Right? This is not just economic. This is not just the family. This is not just people don't know how to handle conflict resolutions. This is a myriad of things coming home to roost. This is under education. This is people just being angry in general. People being confused, not knowing which direction to go in life. This is a bunch of different things happening simultaneously, right? I am reminded of a quote from Quentin Tarantino. I'm going to probably halfway misquote it, right?
Wow, that's quite a person to be quoting.
No, but because
during this,
when you talk about violence, who would be better?
He would know.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
There are two types of violence, right? Abhorrent violence and vengeful violence, right? In a movie, you need the abhorrent violence to justify the vengeful violence.
Oh, God.
But the problem is in real life, all violence is vengeful violence. Because everybody who's murdered or killed or done something has had violence done to them, right? And so because we don't have a time machine, at some point, we're going to have to say, who can we save? Let's just focus on them, right? That is the most economical, and I don't mean that in a monetary sense. I mean that in an actual saving human life sense. We have to look at who we can save and then just brace for the fallout of everybody else to die.
Yeah. Well, we aren't there.
Are we?
That we're not there to even decide that, which
No.
suggesting.
I think that there are several people, you hear people saying stuff, and if you listen clearly to the police, right, the way they sign off on their reports, where they're like, we advise the public to find ways to deal with conflict resolutions. At the end of certain ones, they say that. Then other ones, they'll say, don't harbor people. And then other ones, they'll have a thing. Even with the same shooting, Skipping said on one of the newest houses, oh no, the people shot who they wanted to. They walked up to the car.
Yeah.
Right? So what we have is the police saying, hey, somebody is.
No, it's not random.
It's beyond you.
It's definitely not random.
Right. These are not random stuff, right?
Sure.
Now the problem is when, like the other day on Prince Charles, when something that is not random affects somebody who is a bystander.
Right.
The people who are just driving, stopping traffic.
Yes.
Two other cars get shoot up.
That will cause to them.
Not just the trauma. The trauma, the physical danger, all this different stuff. And so the 16-year-old girl getting shot, technically, as a 16-year-old, what house she's supposed to go to?
Mm-hmm.
That's her house.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, that is where we have to say, those are the people we need to make sure that they are safe. But all these other persons, if you have made the decision that you are willing to die for something, then there's nothing that I can do to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So what do we do now?
And threatening to kill them is not going to stop them. All it's going to do is make them do it faster.
What do we do?
I'm saying we have to. So, one, it's everything that you hear the people. I know I was going to act like I was going to do a list, but all the things that we hear callers saying, right? We need programs for young persons, and we can't wait for the government to enact a program to sit down in legislation and
the
debate.
Programs are there.
I'm saying, right. The programs that, you're right. Mm-hmm. And the programs that exist, we need to support them. And when I say we need to support them, I'm talking about people who have children that it's like, oh, my child ain't bad, so I'm not going to take them to Boys Brigade. No, you need to take your child to Boys Brigade because Boys Brigade only works if there are people in it. The bad children ain't coming there to be changed, or the children at risk aren't coming there to be changed or be saved or sheltered if ain't nobody in the room. You need good people inside the room. So the
challenge seems to be the parents
all around.
The parents who don't want to send their children to anything or
right, and that's not just the bad parents. That is the parents who are good parents who are like, my child don't need to go nowhere.
I've never heard anyone say that. But okay. But that's fine.
I tired. I just come from work. You want me to go carry you to this place or whatever?
Okay.
And you said it before. People say you got to come pick up my child if you want to take my child to karate. You got to pick up my child if you want to take my child.
What do we do with those people?
What, the parents?
Everybody in this situation.
No, I mean
parents and the children.
What the same thing that the family caller always says, right? It is about extended family. It ain't about just mommy and daddy. If there is no father in the home, then everybody in that family needs to say, hey, this child is at risk. And encourage, when I say encourage, I mean bombard this person and say, hey, what they doing on Friday night? And if the person doesn't have a plan or a program for their child, you recommend something. You offer to take the child there. You can't just sit on the side and say, yeah, boy, I could see Ricky was going to be bad from when he was 10. He was ever going to be in trouble. You have to come in now. Mm-hmm. And it's a myriad of other things that need resolution.
Yeah, but what we've seen is a lot of those people have their own children, have their own problems, and can't take on that. So, what do we do then?
But see, then this is where other people come in, because there are people who aren't living in those houses, who aren't related to those people, who are affecting them, because you own the business that overworking these people, that have them working 8, 10 different jobs at the same time, and they have to forsake their children to pay rent. Mm-hmm. They have to go do overtime, otherwise they ain't got nowhere to live. And so when somebody earlier this week texted one of the hosts of one of your shows and said, "Oh, I don't know why you keep on saying we. I ain't have no children, or my children ain't bad, or whatever." If you say we win a gold Olympic medal, if you say we win anything, or we doing something good, then you must also say we are doing horrible. We are killing too many people. You cannot accept an Olympic gold medal.
These people will claim the Dolphins and the Cowboys.
Right.
But won't want to claim what's going on in our country.
You have to claim this. It's just the one we.
Yeah. Okay. We got a lot of your text messages coming in already, and they are from the quick lens. They're going to make me angry. But we'll get to those in a bit. Let's take some calls too. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259, and toll free for our Family Island listeners, 242-300-5720. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning to you all, TGIF.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, did they catch the suspect, right?
They have somebody they're questioning, yes.
Right, there's somebody in...
Yeah, was he out on bail?
They say he's known to police, whatever that means.
You know, I watched the press conference. I saw the inspector. I see the frustration in her voice. You know, the police do their job, and the courts, seems like the courts failing these people, man. These guys, they want to act like criminals and animals. They need to be treated like animals. You know, they just need to lock them up and just throw away the key on somebody. Because if you're known to the police and out on bail, 4 and 5 murders, man. You know, the courts need to do something, man, because the police doing their job. And and this frustration, before these guys finish their paperwork, these guys back out on the street, man. That's sad, man. You know, a 2-year-old, man, that could be, that's just sad, innocent child, man. You know what I'm saying? And these court systems, you know, man, if you want to act inhumane, we're going to treat you like inhumane. You know what I'm saying? Lock up the key, 3 strikes and you're out, man. You know, that's where I feel, man. You know what I'm saying? There's this frustration, man. Look small island like Nassau, man. You know, they get more crimes in the city where I live here in the States, man. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. More murders, you know what I'm saying? It's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? And people look at when people, like I said, most of the crimes happen in Nassau, but everybody here, the Bahamas, they think this the whole of the Bahamas. It's sad, man. Hey, y'all have a great day, man.
Tk you very much. Appreciate it.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is the whole of the country.
It really is.
Percentage-wise, because nobody... I mean, isn't that how the GDP thing? I remember when I was trying to go off to school, I applied to, OAS for a scholarship, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, the Bahamas' GDP is too high. You're not eligible for that scholarship." And I was like, "Oh, well, I ain't that high. I is very broke." Once again,
Jams the brakes.
The we is the we. It ain't no.
It's only when it's convenient, you know.
There's no around the we.
Boy, I tell you.
Either we are a wealthy nation, either we are an intelligent people, or if we are that, then we must also say that we are violent, and we have a problem. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say we intelligent and dying us. And I've seen a lot, and I've heard a lot of that too, where people are trying to dismiss this thing, right? The one thing that we must not do is pretend as though oh, this ain't us, this the Haitians. We cannot, and then the other thing is, we cannot just sweep things aside and say, oh, let us frame it in the lens of religious terms so that it is above us and beyond us. All right? There's a reason why, right? That God gave you the rules he gave you so that you could aspire to be great, so you could aspire to goodness, so you could aspire to righteousness. Everybody is garbage. That's in the Bible. All right? You have to aspire to be better. You can't just say, well, ain't nothing we could do. The world coming to an end. God comes soon. He ain't never tell you quit. At no point, he's like, yeah, things will get bad, so just give up. No, things will get bad. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good day, this is here, right along with you, and I'm Stephen Dwight.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. We need justice law now in the country here. And, you know, honestly, I'm tired of hearing things, just talking. We need action from the police.
She's the press liaison officer. That's what, she's the press liaison officer. That's what her job is, to inform the press.
That's what her job is, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, they know about all the crimes happening in the Bahamas.
Do they?
Or most of the crime. What my point is, they're supposed to get their people together and use some strategy to stop this foolishness.
They're doing that. Okay, I got to stop you. I got to stop you. They're doing that, but Bahamian people like to kill. So, I mean, you know, they can't keep up. So, come on. Let's be sensible. Oh, boy. Let's read these messages, and I want to get into part of this is not helping. The mixed views on bail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so these are the messages here. This person says here, Dwight, all lives matter. We really need to know that. But when people are saying they are really angry now because women are getting killed, that's appalling and insulting. Texter, I hope you're the one person, because there's somebody who keeps doing this every time, saying that people are only getting angry now because women are getting killed. I hope it's only one of you, but you really have an issue, and you need to get that sorted out. There have been people who are very angry from the beginning.
Dwight?
Always.
How many women have been killed this year out of the, is it 12 people now? How many people is it? 11?
3.
No, I'm saying how many people have been killed this year?
Oh, yeah. I can't keep up. Is it 10?
I can't remember if it's 10 or 11 or what.
No, on the 11th day, it was 10.
Okay, so on the 11th day, it's 10, right? God forbid that anybody died today. But, so out of 10, 3 of them are women, right? So now, Dwight, that is literally the percentage of women inside the House of Assembly. If the texter is stupid enough to not be able to do math, right? There's nothing abnormal about the percentage of women being murdered at this point, right? The thing that this person is not realizing is it is the number. The fact that we have a dead person for almost every day of the year, and every time we see him, it's like, okay, they stopped killing today, then somebody say, oh, let's get 2 down, right? That person is just so blind and so filled with so much hatred, which I presume is towards their own mother and their own self, right? And they must hate themselves, right? Because the thing is, you wouldn't, even if you hate somebody else, you wouldn't go on and waste 5 cents to say that every day.
I think it's 7.
Oh, you wouldn't waste.
Isn't there VAT?
I don't even know. But the whole point is, right? At the end of the day, that person is missing the point. They're so caught up inside their own personal grievance that they don't see the wider picture. If 3 women are dead, 7 men are dead. If you love man so much, you should be concerned about the 7 men who dead. Right? You should also be upset. And then you shouldn't be saying, oh, how dare you. As many people as we can get on the wagon to say murders must stop, then let us get those people on the wagon so we can get the murders to calm down, to get as many ideas. Because I don't have all the ideas, right? You don't have all the ideas. There are things where I realize even these people who were quoted earlier today, right? The priest or the father or the bishop who spoke at the legal thing. This man said at the middle schools. We don't have no middle schools inside the Bahamas. That don't mean that we should disregard everything he said. I know what he means, but he don't know. But the thing is, here's at the end of the day, there are things that he doesn't know.
Speaking for the international audience.
International audiences in that room, right? The whole point is there are things that he doesn't know, that he is unaware of. He won't have all the answers. All of us, this is a joint issue. All of us need to contribute. And I understand the person's concern, but as many people as we can get to give us potential answers to fixing this vexing problem, we need them. So if somebody say, oh my God, now they're killing women, now they're killing children, good. What is the solution?
Okay. You meant junior schools. Some people still say SETIs, and no one else says that. But doesn't mean that you can't say it.
We've never
right?
said middle schools. That tells me.
But you know what it is.
Dwight, you don't want me to go on a rant about the disconnect.
But there's tons of people using words that most of us don't
bishops use. And the words that they use and the fact that they are disconnected from the entire society.
Stick to the. Stay focused.
We are trying to stay focused.
Okay. Here's a text.
Otherwise, we will be in a peril.
You need to stop. And 4 people get what you're saying. 4.
Good.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, this person says, how come nobody is charged for harboring a criminal?
She was.
She's going to be. Either she
they took her in for it.
Yeah, yesterday, or she's about to be. So, and they said that they would, right? But they were allowing her some time to grieve. Yeah. Okay. This texter says, I knew it wouldn't be long before Stephen blamed the unethical Bushman.
Who?
And not the fact that some of these people need to better educate and retrain themselves.
Who's the unethical Bushman? I don't know. I don't know these barbaric colonial terms that this idiot is using.
Okay. This one says, you're sorry for the long text, but Dwight, I so hope your news outlet, and especially the Commissioner of Police, would stop calling these gang-related killings. They are not. A gang is a group of organized criminals. These are criminals, but nothing more than a disoriented group of uneducated rogue elements of society. So you're concerned that we're disparaging the people in gangs?
I mean, also,
what you're saying?
you realize
I don't understand.
You still said what a gang. You gave the definition of a gang. It doesn't matter.
They can be disoriented.
It doesn't mean that you're good. Your organization is well organized.
I don't understand what's happening here.
If you're
part of the gang association, texter, you don't want to be associated with this?
You don't have to have a business license to be a business.
I don't get it.
Like, it doesn't work that way. There's no certification for gangs.
Well, maybe there is, and we don't know. Maybe it's
I'm sorry. Isn't the Sesame Street gang a gang?
I don't know what that is. Anyway, draconian crime statistics require draconian crime-fighting measures. The church and the police need to stop the rhetoric of the crime issues. They can't solve it. It's not their jobs. It's the government, both the administration and the opposition's, duty to resolve the issues beyond the just the murder rate. All crime needs to be resolved. A comprehensive solution is to have Bahamians lose some of their civil liberties.
How much more of our civil liberties would you like us to lose?
And an aggressive approach taken. As a sarcastic point, maybe the defense force that is headed to Haiti to train the Haitian police to tackle the gang problem there can stay home and train the Royal Bahamas Police Force to do the same. While you constantly get offended when I text the Bahamas is a third world country, me, I don't know, whatever, you could call yourself whatever you want. I hope you then concede that this country is run by third world thinking politicians.
Mm-hmm. So when a person says third world, I invite them to tell me what a second world is. Because there's first and third. Where's the second world? And when you realize that you are using antiquated terms that don't make sense and that are used to describe things that you were never a part of and have no say in, you probably stop using it yourself. So now I disagree with that person, all right? Because if that person thinks that it is up to the government to solve all our issues, that is the exact reason why we are where we are. Because you are sitting in your house behind your phone and saying, this ain't my responsibility. I hear people outside fighting. I hear this one doing this. I see this little boy doing this or whatever, but I ain't gonna say nothing. That ain't my responsibility. The parents gotta do this. The church gotta do this. The police gotta do this. Everybody else gotta do something except for you. You ain't a part of no committee. You ain't a part of nothing. You ain't a part of nothing inside society. You ain't doing no good in society. The only thing you're doing is burning up, using our good electricity. We only got a little bit of it. Wasting BPL electricity to charge your phone to talk foolishness. That's all you're doing in life. So it's a waste of space. Waste of space. Go outside, join some sort of organization to impact the community. You cannot say the government has to do everything. The government has to do some things. There are things that the government must do that are larger than any individual or any small group of people can do. But there are things that we have to do.
So the cliche, all hands on deck, right? We need everybody.
I don't care
exactly.
if you
put
don't
your
have
face on the deck.
I don't care if you don't
takes.
got no limbs.
Yeah.
Everybody on deck.
We have to do something.
Everybody got to do something. You cannot be sitting down behind your phone talking about, I ain't got no children, and I raise these children like this, and the church need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. Then join the church. Mm-hmm. Then join the government. If you feel like the government is the only people who's supposed to do anything, then you need to join the government. But there's no way you could say they supposed to do it. It is them doing it. It is no Negro, it's we.
Wow. All right, this texter, off topic, but the blinding lights from Junkanoo on Shirley Street with the equipment that is barely visible at night in front of the U.S. Embassy that's being constructed is a recipe for disaster. You are completely correct. It is very, very ridiculous and scary. But it's the Junkanoo lights, though. So why are they still there? As of a couple days ago, they were still there. And you cannot see.
For safety purposes. I bet nobody's been shot there. I bet no one's been shot there.
Yeah, because no one can see.
You're right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, if you're driving. Anyway. This one's, let's go back to the calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Brother Dwight.
Hi.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well,
Stephen.
Close enough.
Oh, the Stephen, right? Yeah. I am in agreement with Mr. Stephen with some of his points that he made this morning.
I know. I just need you to get on with something. That's all.
I really, we all need to get on board and see if we can pool our resources and as best we can. There should be some programs and we need it like today. We have play games and by having fun, and we have to admit by playing games, having fun, we have built a poorly socialized society. That's a fact. By playing games and having fun. And after the fun now, there's a biblical principle that stated the parent eat our free and we have put the children teeth on edge.
Yeah.
We build a society rather than building a healthy traditional family. And this is what we have. This is not going away. This can be here with us maybe for the rest of our lives. Like Mr. Stephen said, we can have to get programs, go into schools. The churches, I believe, can do more. The churches can do more in terms of the message on family planning. My friend now, Miles Laroda, who is the Minister of Social Service, he needs to gather all the leaders together, have a conversation. They need to have a conversation because we are in a dilemma. We don't play the games, we don't have the fun. Now the chicken has come home to roost. So we got a bunch of wild weed, poorly socialized children in this society, and they're going to end up having children. This is going to be a repeat cycle.
Yeah.
Poorly socialized people continuing to have children.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
And this is what we have.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
This is Rabbi Common Sense. I know this is not critical thinker. This is his twin brother. I'm calling in reference. I'm the gentleman that sent the text, since I'm usually the long text into your radio station. And Stephen is making some issues about me with the government in reference to it.
Right.
Then I speak in generality most of the time. The government do have a duty, and it's the government's job to institute policy, program, and procedures to ensure that we have a organized and well-governed society.
Right. Now here's the thing, right? The government job is to write legislation, right? And to pay for the enforcement of the legislation, all the stuff that you just said. But the government is not alone in their responsibility for the upkeep of society, all right? And the suggestion that you're saying the government needs to, or the way you phrased it, you can say you spoke in generalities, and that is part of the issue. It washes over the fact that we also have a responsibility as a part of society. Now, you can say that's not what you meant, and I'll be fine.
Oh, no, what you call it? You see, what do you have to come to the point? In a disorganized society, when no one knows what is the policy, no one knows what is the procedure, and no one knows what is the full program of the government, then the people cannot actively participate in what's going on.
So I understand that you think that this is a philosophical battle. We understand the policy that murder is wrong. Nobody doesn't understand that policy.
Well,
we understand.
No. See, good sir.
Okay, I don't understand what we're arguing about here, though.
There is no argument. There is no argument because you said that first of all, we are talking about murder. We're talking about the violence that is happening on the streets of New Providence, all right? You are saying that is the government's prerogative. That's the government's responsibility, all right? The government, the law already exists.
No. Read my text. I said all crime. You see, what happens, everything is progressive in life with itself. When you allow the small things to pass, like how sometimes your radio talk shows talk about the unlicensed cars, the police officers driving by this and that, the unworking lights and things. In disorganization, we reach the point that it gets progressively worse. Yeah. It has reached the point of murder becoming a normality. That is the problem. But the smaller things. If I let my child first start breaking things, doing this, he'll get progressively worse. And that is what is happening with society.
So you want the government to tell your child to not break things?
No, there you go again.
Okay. So I think I'm getting it now. So you're saying because we have not been sweating the small stuff, this is where we are now. And now, if they were to do that stuff that you're saying, then we wouldn't quite be here, right? You're saying something along those lines?
I'm saying that's how we reach here. Now, we have reached this point where draconian measures must be taken. All civil liberties, we call it. I'm sure my twin brother, C. Allen, spoke of it. Technology can solve the crime in our country in less than 1 year. I had a home invasion on my house where I was tied up. Our jewelry store was robbed. Everything else, call the police. When the police officers come, I'll tell you this much, and I don't mean to defame them, but they are not properly trained to even ask the question. I had to go and using technology, let them know who the 5 robbers were that robbed my house by calling somebody in BTC and telling them these were the 5 phone numbers and things that stayed around us for the longest. So technology has reached the point that we become users of it as in consumers and not using it progressively to do the things that progress us ahead.
Before you hang up on him, what part of that would a government policy would have changed?
You mean as in the policy?
Yeah, no. What part of that would the legislative branch of government writing policy would have changed?
No, we think you wanted to do policy alone to deal with crime. Let's have a policy to improve it. Listen, let's have a policy to improve education. Let's have a policy to improve childcare. Let's have a policy. These are the things that lead 10, 15, let's say 12 years down the line, because most of the kids don't even finish school. Okay.
All right. So you're suggesting the draconian for not for an indefinite period, but right now to get a handle on it, and then is that what you're saying?
Yes. If you look at different countries, El Salvador now has cut its murder rate by significant, more than half or whatever else, with a young man coming in and doing the same thing. Ecuador is doing the same thing. We have many countries that did it and get to the point. It's whether or not we can maintain it. And now let me clarify before I go the issue of, because I always, Dwight, you always push me with the third world country. A third world country is a nationalist statement. That means first world means they're basically at that point of development. One generation so people can enjoy it. A second world country and a third world country.
Yeah, but again, as Stephen said, those terms aren't used today.
You're incorrect. You're incorrect. You're incorrect. You're incorrect.
To reach the level that the first world country.
Sir, but we don't use those terms anymore, though.
Dwight, don't say yes. He's incorrect.
Okay, but we don't use those terms anymore.
He's incorrect.
We don't need to
first
even go on there.
The first
But
word.
let's not dwell on this.
No.
'Cause
I want him to know
as
that
you said,
he's
antiquated, irrelevant terms.
But he's
today.
not even using it. What he's talking is idiolect. That's something that he made up in his head, and he thinks that everybody should go by it. Now, if you want to go teach everybody that, that's fine. But don't pretend as though that's what it means. That's not what it means. It's an economic term.
Okay. Yeah. So he's at least that part he's cleared up there, right? And that's one thing. The police really do need to go after all these things. Everybody. I think yesterday for the first time I saw somebody in a helmet on a motorbike. Like, well, look at this. This is what is happening.
No, because
right?
they know. Like, listen.
Well, they look like tourists, but otherwise, it's right. There's craziness in the streets, right? So what's that about? And again, the red light running, the people who just don't care, casually breezing through a red light, and like nothing.
Dwight, I'm not in disagreement with everything needs to be handled, and we need to sweat the small stuff, all right? But let us not pretend as though we don't live in the Bahamas. We know that we don't have enough police to police the Bahamas. We know we don't have enough teachers to teach the students. We know we don't have enough nurses and healthcare professionals to take care of the sick and the dying, let alone the murdered and the people who are injured because somebody tried to murder them. We know these things, right? We don't have enough students who are finishing school because we don't have enough educators to become the new nurses and become the new doctors to fill the gaps. So where does it start? We can't just keep looking at the line and saying, oh, ain't enough people on the line. We have to then say, we are either going to join the line or we are going to help fix the line.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where me and him disagree. I'm not disagreeing and saying that we don't need to fix those things in Jersey. Of course, we have policies and we need policies, but what are you doing?
Okay, this texture here in response to what I said earlier. Dwight, what do you mean Bahamians like to kill? You can't say things like that. Bahamians are outnumbered bad in the Bahamas, so you don't know who's who. Y'all can pray Jesus off the cross until real punishment happens. Nothing will change.
Who are we outnumbered by? Who are we outnumbered by?
I don't know.
Who are we outnumbered by? Which
evil spirits?
No,
I don't know.
Because once again, you can't.
Who all got murdered this year, and who's been accused of the murders?
Dwight, it doesn't matter. You can present
right?
You can present them with facts all they want all day. The thing is, when a person doesn't want to take responsibility, they will not. Right? This the CM generation. The texters are the CM generation of people who sleep with a woman, and that's what the man was talking. The caller, family. When he talked about family planning, he's talking about all these people and go have fun, sleep with all these women, have children on every doorstep, and then never go see the child.
All right, so the texter earlier who said about how we're only getting angry because women are dying, they texted back. They said, Dwight, people are making contributions to your show, but you're allowing Stephen to disrespect people by calling out their mothers. Now you see why things are happening.
So now it sounds like you're threatening me. Sounds like you're threatening me.
Hold on, but
maybe we should forward that number to the police. Texter.
That's not what it is. But you got to pick a side. I mean, you're saying that people only care because women are getting killed.
Yeah, would you be mad if I said...
And that it's appalling and insulting that people are only mad when people getting killed.
But now you're mad because I say...
But now when people say that,
you hate your mother. I didn't say anything bad about your mother. I think your mother probably is a wonderful person. I think you're the screw-up.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Would you be mad if I said that you're mad at your father as well? Would that make you feel better? Invisible text, save that number. If anything happens to me, it's that person.
I think you're going to be okay until just now, but that's fine.
And it's like people who cannot rationalize words and can't sit down and say, you know what? Why am I so angry? What is my problem?
Wow. Okay. Stephen's making plenty of sense. That's a text there. This one says that we are outnumbered by Haitians. People like Stephen.
You got it.
They are Haitians. You don't know who
Big old Haitian Stephen. And that's the case, then it is what it is.
Let's just rein it in. See, this is what happens, as we said earlier. Right? People are going to be throwing all kinds of weird darts from all over the place and not focusing on the big issue.
Dwight, here's the thing.
And this is madness.
No. Here's the thing. My thing is, right, if that person is willing to say that a Haitian is making a bigger contribution to the Bahamas than he is, then that person is a loser. All right? Fine. If you want to call me a Haitian, then I guess I'm a Haitian. And this
All right,
Haitian
we
wants the
gotta-
Bahamas to be better, right? So if you, sir, are a so-called, a quote-unquote Bahamian, but you ain't doing nothing, then I question, why are you a Bahamian? If you don't love this country enough to do something for it. All you want to do is sit down and complain and say, it's them people over there in the shadow who I don't know about. I think everybody is a Haitian. Okay.
Okay. Let's take these calls really quickly, and then we need to go to a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. How you doing?
I want to do a pivot and perhaps expand on Stephen's call for all hands on deck. But firstly, I'm always concerned that as Bahamians, we tend to be very prepared to blame the Haitians for a lot of things that happens in this country without at times recognizing the substantive contributions that Haitians have made to the development of the Bahamas. And I think until we come to terms with both sides of that coin, we're going to always have the myopic approach we take to who's responsible for what. But having said that, the call for all hands on deck, I would like to expand by saying perhaps we should start by looking to consolidating some of the resources that are already here, like the extraordinary work that LEAD is doing in the country and other similar organizations.
Right.
And maybe the time has come for the government to understand that these people who are reaping havoc on us, they've decided to check out of the social contracts and the social norms that we have with each other. And maybe it's time to remove them from our society and take an approach where when they had the days of Alcatraz, and perhaps not in the extreme policy approach as Alcatraz, but choose one of the keys that we have in this country. And this is a growing mindset among people that I talk to. Take these persons immediately. The guy's out on bail for 4 murders. Why is he still walking around in the community with people that he should have had a social contract with, and obviously is showing very strong signs that he's not willing to honor that social contract? Take these people, put them on perhaps an island like Kisau, create programs that they would be required to participate in by making contributions back to society in that space where they're isolated. So if he chooses to continue his dysfunction and not be willing to reform himself so that he can function in the norms of society, then let them do that in that space out there. And I'm sure if we start really taking these people who are willing to shoot a baby, willing to shoot a woman, shoot a man that's sitting in his car, and put them in a different space, in a different place where they don't have the luxury of walking around in society because they were in an ankle bracelet. I don't understand the relationship in an ankle bracelet while you're reaping havoc on people anyway. So my recommendation to the government is to start moving these people from the normal society and put them in a space where they have the luxury of doing these things to each other rather than to everyday Bahamian citizens. That's how I see it.
All right. Thank you very much. We got to go to a break. I want to read this before we go to the break, though. This is from the police, an update on the shooting. So the 2-year-old toddler is still in critical condition in the hospital. Right? Now, this is what the police are saying. It's further reported that a few weeks back, the suspect and the mother of the toddler were engaged in a physical altercation, which resulted in the mother being attacked. However, the matter was never reported to the police. Police are actively investigating and are once again appealing to members of the public to find alternate ways to resolve their conflicts. Wow.
So anyway,
and
so when the texter is saying things like "y'all only upset now," this was targeted. This is a domestic situation gone awry. The police are assuming. It seems to be the direction they're leaning in. So now,
maybe not gang in the typical sense related. Sure. There was another shooting last night, though. That's being investigated. A 28-year-old man of Windsor Lane is in hospital after a shooting incident. Police say that shortly after 4 p.m., the victim was leaving a business establishment on Plantoul Street when a dark-colored Japanese vehicle approached him. It's reported that 3 men, all of whom were armed with firearms, exited the vehicle and discharged gunshots at the victim, which resulted in him being shot multiple times in the upper torso. The victim was taken to the hospital where he remains in critical condition. Got more guns than sense here in New Providence. Boy, I tell you. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Red Bay, Shallow Flats, and Garden Key are his drops in the bite. He said that's where they does be. For many years he been taking out celebrities. Like U.S. President Nixon, he's legendary. He's Bonefish Foley. Man so meek and lowly. He's a meek and lowly. Bonefish Foley. He's the one and only.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. The world is reacting to U.S.-led airstrikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen. The strikes were in response to Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping. Richard Marles is the Australian Defence Minister.
The United States and the United Kingdom engaged in a number of missile strikes on Houthi military targets in Yemen. This action was supported by 4 other nations: Canada, Bahrain, the Netherlands, and Australia. Australia's support of these actions came in the form of personnel in the operational headquarters.
But Russia is condemning the airstrikes, calling them irresponsible actions by the United States and its allies. The judge in Donald Trump's civil fraud trial in New York says he hopes to rule on this by the end of the month. Donald Trump says he's innocent. He's accused of inflating his company's financial statements in order to get better deals on loans and insurance. I'm Rita Foley.
7:46, time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. All right, so we've got Marathon Bahamas, a big weekend for them, and a lot happening. So there are going to be some road closures. So keep that in mind as you make your way about. So, as of Sunday, between 5 a.m. and noon, these streets are going to be closed. West Bay Street between Nirvana Beach and Marlborough Street. It's a long way. Marlborough between West Bay Street and Navy Line Road. Bay Street between Navy Line Road and Montague Beach. And all sides with access to West Bay and Bay Street. The southern side of West Bay Street's dual carriageway between Prospect Ridge and Sandyport Bridge will be converted into two-way traffic, traveling east and west. No vehicles will be permitted to travel along those roadways until after the completion of the race. All local traffic in the affected areas will be detoured, as it's anticipated that over 800 people will be participating in the race. And so anyone having to travel in the affected areas, you have to do so with extreme caution and care, or entirely avoid the area if possible on Sunday. In your real-time traffic right now, at this hour, as usual, Milo Butler Highway, your hot spot. Heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. That's northbound lanes there. And Glasser looking busy for you as well. From well south of Fire Trail, actually, straight up to the roundabout with Bahamar Boulevard and JFK. But it's not continuous traffic. It's heavy, but it's not continuous. And there seems to be a lot more traffic on the JFK side, especially heading toward the roundabout with Bahamar Boulevard. So keep that in mind if you're in that area. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you from Carmichael straight up to the Independence Drive roundabout in the northbound lanes. And some congestion along Soldier Road as you approach Old Trail. And at the intersection with Soldier, Prince Charles, and Robinson Road. Robinson busy between that intersection straight up to Old Trail as well. And then Eastern Road, heavy traffic for you from just west of San Souci Road to Johnson Road. And pockets along Prince Charles Drive for you this morning. Fox Hill Road also busy for you northbound heading toward that intersection with Prince Charles. That's what we're looking at right now in your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean. And at 7:49, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a broad ribbon of moisture associated with a persistent mid to upper level jet that's going to continue supporting cloudiness and occasional bouts of light shower activity over portions of the northwest Bahamas today. Elsewhere, expect sunnier conditions courtesy of a high pressure system in the central tropical Atlantic. We've got a number of warnings. We'll tell you about that in our next weather check after the 8 o'clock news. But for today, for the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for variably cloudy, warm, and humid conditions with a few scattered showers, especially in the afternoon, becoming fair and mild tonight. Showers will be intermittent and light to moderate in nature. Expect gradual clearing as the day progresses. For the central southeast Bahamas today, partly to mostly sunny and warm, with a slight chance of a light stray shower, becoming fair and mild and a bit breezy with a few light spotty showers tonight. Temperatures again in the 80s today for highs, up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, another frontal boundary will enter the northwest Bahamas late Saturday, bringing some showers to parts of the area into Sunday evening. Elsewhere, high pressure will be the dominant weather feature, supporting mostly stable conditions. So for Saturday, tomorrow, variably cloudy, warm, and a bit humid, with a few scattered showers by late evening along the extreme northwest Bahamas. Expect drier and sunnier conditions elsewhere. Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy, warm, and humid, with scattered showers in the northwest Bahamas, gradual clearing expected from the evening into the night. Elsewhere, look for generally sunny skies and warm conditions with a stray shower or two possible, becoming fair and mild at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Take an electric vehicle for a spin. Experience the incredible performance firsthand. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales to suit your budget and your lifestyle. Book a test drive today at easy242.com.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Nassau Cruise Port presents Phil Stubbs Live at the all-new Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater, January 13th. Gates open at 7 p.m., showtime 9 p.m. Book your tickets now at BahamasEtickets.com.
General admission $50, 75 VIP.
Prepare to be blown away as we kick things off with one of the Bahamas' beloved artists. You're raking and scraping with Ira Storr, Nishi LS, and Phil Stubbs Live. Sponsored by Kalik and Ron Ricardo. Nassau Cruise Port, the place to be.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage cost. Buy or build your home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
The National Insurance Board encourages all employers and self-employed persons to stay ahead of the 2024 rush by scheduling a meeting with your inspector today. A one-on-one appointment with your inspector ensures that your account is up to date and compliant, making it a hassle-free process when applying for your tax compliance certificates and business license renewals with the Department of Inland Revenue. Stay ahead, avoid delays. Keep your business thriving. Contact your inspector now. Your success is our priority. What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage cost. Buy or build your home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. All right, we're going to go to news in just a bit. Just letting you know, stay tuned. We're giving away tickets to the big concert tomorrow. We got a pair. How do we do this? I got 2 sets of pairs. Yes? Mm-hmm.
Tickets. 4 tickets.
What do you guys say? 2 sets of pairs. Well, 4 sounds like, anyway. You and a friend could go to the concert on Saturday night. We're
letting 2 people take a friend each.
Okay, there you go. That sounds like the same thing I just said, no?
Yeah.
So we'll do that in our 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock hours. How about that? Yeah. Okay. Let's take this call really quickly. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Are you still there? No. Yes? No? Okay. This person says, what if you are an educator, you've raised your children, you are part of a swimming and karate club for children, and you are an executive of the union, which union? You are doing your humanly best to give back to your country.
Thank you.
What do you do when you still don't feel safe? Who do you call or turn to? No, we're not saying that you're going to feel safe by doing that, but at least you're doing your part, right?
No, yeah, you're doing the only, and here's the thing.
Because you're one of, you're 1 in a million, and
one in 450,000.
Okay, sure. And so people aren't doing as much as you're doing, and
I don't know if the union part was necessary, but okay, thank you. But thank you for your service.
Discounted a lot of what you. Anyway, but depends on the union.
Yeah, which dysfunction?
No. But anyway, but the problem is everybody's not doing this. Not doing their part and not trying to get their kids involved in wholesome activities.
Wait, sorry. What was the question? The question was,
what do we do? Because they're doing that and they still don't feel safe. Who do we turn to?
Well, I mean, you still need to turn to your fellow man, and you need more people. So here's the thing. This is an issue that we all do this. Everybody, I myself included. All right, we stay within our comfort zone. We stay around the people who we are cool with, who understand us. Right. I stay around people who I could use the word hegemonic structure around.
Why would you do that?
And they only roll their eyes and they don't say.
Oh, they all roll their eyes.
Yeah, everybody rolls their eyes because it's a pedantic thing to say, like the word pedantic, right? I hang around those type of people, and those people, they don't say, because I've had somebody before say, when you talk, it is make my brain tickle, but like in a bad way, like it has hurt my head.
That's how I feel.
Anyway, right? The whole point is, if you don't move yourself outside of your comfort zone, right? Outside of your circle of friends, because your circle of friends most likely have the same thought process as you.
Okay.
That's the only way we can really move the country forward. So you have to actually lean into what you are afraid of. You have to, I'm not saying dive into it.
Okay, we got to go to the news. I want to read these really quickly. Process this during the break.
Who, me or the audience?
Everybody. The biggest problem in the country is Haitians.
Go ahead.
Murder, corruption, and people like Stephen, who nobody knows.
I made the list.
What he's talking about with his arbitrary statements. Well,
I made the list.
But on the other hand, this person says, can we please stop blaming the Haitians for every problem in the Bahamas and stop the name calling? Okay.
I will try to stop the name calling.
Wow. Hey, we'll be back after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Mama, look here. My fans there. Oh, mama, look here. Oh, my fans there. Mama,
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 and Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:19, time for another check of your weather for today. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening as we head into the weekend. We've got a broad ribbon of moisture associated with a persistent mid to upper level jet. It's going to continue supporting cloudiness and occasional bouts of light shower activity over portions of the northwest Bahamas today. Elsewhere, expect sunnier conditions courtesy of a high pressure system in the central tropical Atlantic. So, the presence of the super new moon will contribute to abnormally higher tides into the weekend, and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. Everyone's being advised that in early morning hours, possibly tomorrow, and we're going to see some fog, and that may limit visibility and make it difficult for mariners and motorists to navigate waterways and roadways. And in the northwest Bahamas, some marginal flash flooding is possible in flood-prone areas due to previous ground saturation. So quite a bit happening. Now, for the northwest Bahamas today, look for variably cloudy, warm, and humid conditions with a few scattered showers in the afternoon hours, becoming fair and mild tonight. Showers will be intermittent and light to moderate in nature. Expect gradual clearing as the day progresses. In the southeast and central Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny and warm, with a slight chance of a light stray shower today, becoming fair, mild, and a bit breezy with a few light, spotty showers tonight. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at another day with highs in the 80s, highs up to about 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, another frontal boundary will enter the northwest Bahamas late Saturday, bringing some showers to parts of the area into Sunday evening. Elsewhere, high pressure will be the dominant weather feature, supporting mostly stable conditions. So for tomorrow, Saturday, variably cloudy, warm and a bit humid, with a few scattered showers by late evening. Along the extreme northwest Bahamas, expect drier and sunnier conditions elsewhere. Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy, warm and humid, with scattered showers in the northwest Bahamas, gradual clearing expected from the evening into the night. Elsewhere, sunny, gradually sunny skies, warm conditions with stray showers, becoming fair and mild at night. That is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. All right, so just a reminder about Marathon Bahamas this Sunday. That's going to mean some road closures and detours and some... a lot's going to be happening. So here's what you need to keep in mind. So on Sunday from 5 a.m. to about noon, these streets are going to be closed to motorists. So you've got West Bay Street between Nirvana Beach and Marlborough Street. And then Marlborough Street between West Bay Street and Navy Lion Road. Bay Street between Navy Lion Road and Montague Beach. And all side streets with access to West Bay Street and Bay Street. That's Sunday morning. The public is advised that the southern side of West Bay Street's dual carriageway between Prospect Ridge Road and Sandyport Bridge will be converted into two-way traffic, traveling east and west. No vehicles will be permitted to travel along these roadways until after the completion of the race, and all local traffic in the affected areas will be detoured, as is anticipated that over 800 people will be participating in the race. And so anyone having to travel in the affected areas, you're asked to do so with extreme caution and care. So that's Sunday morning for Marathon Bahamas. In your real-time traffic right now, as usual, we've got Mile Butler Highway seeing heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout in the northbound lanes all the way up to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. And we're going to be seeing a bit of congestion at the six-leg roundabout as well, northbound and eastbound along JFK and southbound on New Providence Highway. Farrington Road also looking busy for you at this hour. Heavy traffic on Farrington Road right now. West Bay Street, we've got near Saunders Beach, eastbound traffic. Heavy traffic there as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway and heading east toward Arawak Key. Glasgow not looking bad for you at this hour, but the traffic's on the JFK side, both directions between Bahamar Boulevard and Prospect Ridge Road, and that's east and westbound. Then we've got Prince Charles Drive, heavy traffic for you at the major intersections, so long as you approach Beatrice Avenue and Soldier Road, and especially between Soldier and the East-West Highway Marathon Road on Robinson Road there. And Eastern Road, heavy traffic for you just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. So good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean.
Mama, look here, my pants there. Mama, look here, oh my pants there. Mama, look here, my pants there. Oh, mama, look here, oh my pants there. Mama, oh mama, I was playing over there. I slipped from a tree and my pants tear. I was playing with Shirley, Lambert and them. When my pants burst, they started laughing. Mama, look here, my pants there. Mama, look here, oh my pants there. Mama, look here.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about dermatology and skin issues, common skin issues for people here in the Bahamas. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
The pants of the nation has been torn.
That's Phil Stubbs there. Hey, we're giving away tickets to see Phil Stubbs in concert tomorrow. If you answer this question correctly, you will get 2 tickets to go tomorrow night. So be the first callers. Be the first caller to get this right. If you were listening yesterday, or maybe you know this, he said it. He said it during our wonderful interview yesterday. What's the real name of the person who inspired the song? Well, that is about him. What's the real name of Bonefish Foley? Bonefish Foley. If you know the name.
Foley is his real name.
Well, that's his nickname.
What is his government name?
Fine.
It's not his nickname.
Government name, not his nickname. And he said it in the interview yesterday. Iris Store. Oh, wow, what am I saying? Phil Stubbs said it in the interview yesterday. But if you know the answer, you could win these tickets. 323-6232. 325-4316 or 325-4259. Let's see if this listener has the right answer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Do you have the answer to our...
Where...
What's happening here?
And we are actually...
Are you there, caller? What was that?
It sounded like we broke into air traffic control or something.
I don't know what that was. All right. If you have the right answer, let us know. Okay, let's see. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
Is it Mr. Israel Roll?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Congratulations.
I was just as excited as you, and the whole entire Bahamas has seen Mr. Phil Stubbs. He's a legend.
He definitely is. He definitely is. You've won 2 tickets. Hold on the line. We need to get your information. We need your name, phone number, and email address. So our producer's going to get it from you right now. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay on the line. All right, so hopefully we'll get somebody else to scream and shout like that. Coming up at our 9 o'clock hour, we'll give away another pair of tickets to see Phil Stubbs live at the Nassau Cruiseport Amphitheater tomorrow night. Phil Stubbs, Nishi LS, and Iris Store, and the Spank Band are going to be giving you an amazing night tomorrow. Tickets are $50, general admission $75 VIP. And are available at BahamasEtickets.com and at the Plantation Bar and Grill, Caves Heights, and Miniso in the mall at Marathon. Doors open at 7 p.m., showtime at 9 p.m. All right, great stuff. All right, so, Stephen, I wanted to get this really quickly. So the Attorney General, to get back to talking about the horrible crime issue, well, the murder issue we have. I don't know what that is.
It's the crime music.
Okay. Now, the people have been saying it. We don't know how someone can be 16 years old and out on bail for 4 murders. It doesn't sound like it's a real thing. It sounds like it's a joke. But apparently it's quite real, and he's not the first person to be out on bail for 4 murders.
Because the person's a child.
That's not it. No, we've had older men who were out on bail for 4 or 5 murders as well.
That's a different reason.
We don't know what it is. Chaos. Clearly, people like chaos. That's the only reason it could be. But people have been saying this cannot be, right? There's no way that you should be out on bail if you're accused of killing more than one person.
But you're accused.
Okay. I mean, what do you think people just like targeting you? Like, well, you know what? Let's pin it on him too. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that it's not beyond the scope of reason to believe that could happen. But anyway,
well, for your own safety, since everybody out on bail is getting murdered, perhaps you should be.
We're going to put you in protective
somewhere safe. Okay. So the Attorney General says that there is no need to amend the Bail Act. He said on the sidelines of the opening of the legal year yesterday, there's adequate protection and adequate ability for the judiciary to deny bail in certain circumstances. Those have been verified, and decisions by the Court of Appeal made determination, so we just look for the denial of bail to occur in the situations that call for it. You understanding that? Yeah. He goes on to say, these circumstances are areas where we see public criticism in granting bail in instances of repeat violent offenders, instances of gang activity, and instances of perceived retaliatory killings. This is what he said in the Senate a while back. I encourage our lower courts to study these and other cases and make the appropriate decisions in the denial of bail in the appropriate circumstances. So while he's saying that, our Artesia Davis is writing about this. Mixed views on bail as the legal year opens. The controversial issue of the grant of bail to people accused of murder took center stage at yesterday's ceremony to mark the opening of the legal year. Attorney General Ryan Pinder called for prosecutors to be more aggressive in appealing decisions to grant bail in certain circumstances. Meanwhile, Bar Association President Khalil Parker, KC, and Chief Justice Sir Ian Winder defended members of the judiciary who granted bail to suspects accused of murder and other violent offenses. According to Pinder, of the 77 people who were charged with murder in 2023, 2 of them allegedly committed another murder once released on bail. They were charged in 2023 and got bail in 2023. And 2 of them have been accused. Okay. He added that 5 people who were given bail for murder in 2023 were subsequently charged with other major offenses. Pinder said that 12 of the people charged with murder last year were already on bail for murder when they were charged, and that 24 of the 77 were released on bail within the same year. Okay, this is, I mean, do you feel good reading this out? Like, because this is what, oh boy. He said, we know that the Court of Appeal has upheld the denial of bail in 2 specific instances, only 2. 1, the need to protect the safety of the public, and 2, whether the defendant should be kept in custody for his own protection. Statistics have shown that those on bail for murder generally are repeat offenders. Statistics also show that those on bail for murder are also eventually victims of murder. Statistics also show that innocent people are at risk for injury or death because of these retaliatory killings. These, in my opinion, justify a more aggressive approach by the judiciary in denying bail in murder cases. Now, in his remarks, Pinder described public commentary on the murders of people on bail for murder as misguided scapegoating of the judiciary and an undue attack on the administration of justice. This is Parker. Parker described public commentary on the murders of people on bail for murder as misguided scapegoating of the judiciary and an undue attack on the administration of justice.
You understand, Dwight? I mean, you have to translate, just so you know. But it's the most behemoth thing you could do. To it's not us. We're doing us.
Well, this is the translation here. Parker says, quote, the presumption of innocence is sacrosanct.
That's not the translation.
And is every individual's right to due process. So even when they're charged with 6 murders. Therefore, in order to analyze the bail decisions of the judiciary reasonably and critically, one ought to have due regard to the arguments, evidence, and facts before the court in these cases. Further, one has to acknowledge that the decision of the court whether or not to grant bail is itself subject to appeal. It is far too easy to simply say that too many people are out on bail. While this may be a genuinely held belief, the answer involves a complex analysis that must also include a fully resourced Department of Public Prosecutions, Office of the Public Defender, and a better funded Crown brief system.
Now, here's the thing, Dwight. Let's go back. Let's just take it. I just want the first line. The first line is, what is sacrosanct? The presumption of innocence over guilt or something? What do you
want
say?
me to do?
Just the first piece. Just the first piece.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What did he say?
Mm-hmm.
I want
the presumption of innocence.
Okay, the presumption of innocence is sacrosanct. Now, sacrosanct literally means regarded as too important or too valuable to be interfered with.
Right.
And I dare say to you that there is nothing in this world that is sacrosanct. Everything has the ability or should be questioned and tampered with if need be. You gotta adjust everything if it is not serving the purpose that it was set up for. That's the problem with the Constitution in the Bahamas. It's sacrosanct. You can't touch it. You can't do nothing about it. The Constitution is the Constitution. No, not if there's a flaw in it and we can see the flaw.
I want to read a little more of what
The
Parker
presumption.
is saying.
I'm saying the presumption of innocence. I understand what he's saying. But no one's saying that we then presume everybody to be guilty. But you must look at that and say, okay, you know what? If this person goes to their house, somebody already tried to kill them once, somebody's going to try to kill them again. For the safety of the people in this neighborhood, this person can't go home.
Yeah.
Even if we as the government and the legal body say we don't care if this person live or die because they ain't dead on our porch. For everybody else, this person cannot go home.
Okay, so Parker's saying, having identified individuals released on bail as a vulnerable class of persons, what we need are policing and other strategies targeted at effectively monitoring and providing such individuals meaningful protection. Okay. Them, not the victims or the family.
No, understand.
Them, yes.
So there's a vulnerable class, and then there's a protected class. The rest of us just don't be stuck in traffic when they start shooting.
He says we also have to consider the conditions at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services and whether it is a facility one can reasonably ask anyone to remain for their own safety. Wow. Now, Sir Ian Winder noted that contrary to the belief of some, there is no prohibition on the grant of bail for murder, as decided in the recent Privy Council case of AG for Trinidad versus Aliki Charles. He said, contrary to the opinion of some, the law does not prescribe a 2-year requirement before an accused can be admitted to bail for the offense of murder. A charge is not a conviction. The fact that the police have alleged that you have committed an offense does not automatically suspend your constitutional rights for 2 years. The police and the prosecution must demonstrate that there is a basis for the pretrial detention beyond the fact that it is a murder charge. The seriousness of the offense alleged is indeed a very relevant factor, but not the only factor. The nature of the charge and of the evidence available in support thereof, the likely sanction in case of conviction, whether conditions can be put in place to ensure the accused attends at his trial, and the accused's record, if any, the likelihood of interference with witnesses, the need to prevent public endangerment, and the safety of the accused are some of the other factors the court must consider.
Right. You and I both know that words could say anything, right? And we could talk until our tongue fall out of our head in defense of anything or against anything. It don't make it right. It don't make it the most logical or sensible thing to do. All right? We've had multiple learned, formerly QCs, now KCs and JoJos, come out and say that we know that if a person is on bail, we see that we've had, matter of fact, didn't Wayne Monroe once say that as, murder is the consequence of murder, right? You don't have to, the state doesn't have to hang them because almost everybody who's been charged with murder, they go out and they get shot or they get killed or something along those lines, all right? So you know that there's a danger to their life. You know there's a danger to other lives. All these extra words, this 800 paragraph, single space, 12-point New Times New Roman essay that's been written to us, all right, don't mean nothing. you know that they're going to get shoot.
Okay, we got a lot of messages here. We're running out of time. We want to get to this caller as well as a lawyer sending a message to us. You cannot adjust fundamental provisions in the Constitution. Stephen is speaking in his ignorance.
Probably.
Another one here. I agree with Parker. We have police officers who can hardly speak and form words, yet they want to call people a murderer without a trial. I keep saying the police cannot deem someone to be guilty. That's the role of the courts. Like I keep saying, the police need to know their roles.
Here's the thing. Fine.
Really quickly.
Fine to both of those people. But what is the solution then? The solution can't be to continue on and not do anything.
And you all learn how to duck.
No. Stephen is dumb and ignorant. Stephen be the first one to say that. Now, the learned gentleman who message and say that, oh, you can't do it because of the Constitution. Well, I say we change the Constitution, but you clearly know better than me, so you give us the answer.
Or like Parker is saying, okay, the prison's not fit. Well, then we got to fix that, right? Fix that. Make a place for all the people who are accused
and
to stay.
And what do we do in the meantime? What do we do in the meantime?
Let's take this call really quickly. Caller, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still. Good morning, Dwight. Steven. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good. And Happy New Year to you all.
Yeah, same to you.
God's blessings on 2024. Good morning to the nation. Dwight, well, Stephen, I heard what you were saying, and I understand what you were trying to say, but I believe that you're off on this one. In my view, you expressed that the Constitution is sacrosanct, right, and it cannot be challenged, but that is not true.
Is that what you said?
One second. I said that I'm saying that that's the problem that we have. The people hold the Constitution to be sacrosanct, and that we can't change it. We should change it. We should change parts of it.
And it's not sacrosanct. It's sacrosanct as it relates to it being the highest laws in our country that we ought to adhere to until such time as provisions that are made in the Constitution for it to be changed by referendum or acknowledged or exercised. But getting to the other point.
Isn't that what you said?
Yes, Dwight. Don't worry. You are also we are all confused on this side of the radio.
But getting to the other point of this conversation, right? I was so happy to hear Chief Justice Sahin Winder speak to the facts in this matter because, look, we may have an issue, and yes, we do have an issue in our country with the amount of murders or the volume of murders taking place over such a short period of time, right? However, that does not, as the president or the former president of the Bar Association, I don't know if he's still a president, Mr. Parker said, that does not trump, or president, sorry, thank you for the correction, Dwight. That does not trump any individual's right to the presumption of innocence and to have it proven that they're actually guilty of what they're being accused. And that is where we are allowing this emotional discussion to get distorted because even if you look at the matter of murder, not all murders will be of the same circumstance. Not all persons coming before a magistrate's court or a Supreme Court or a Court of Appeal or Privy Council.
So, Anton, you're just very casual when you read sentences like 16-year-old out on bail for 4 murders. It's like, oh, well, that's just how it is.
Well, Dwight, Darren, even in your statement as we were speaking, you were doing the exact same thing because granted, the 16-year-old, I don't know what the circumstances are, I don't know what the facts are, but granted the 16-year-old is on bail, it tells you the fact that 16-year-old is yet to be tried and proven to be a murderer. And so yet again, Dwight, even in our conversation, you are proving the point that I'm making. You're proving the point that the Chief Justice made yesterday in a statement in the opening of the legal year, and also that Mr. Parker has made, which I happen to agree with.
Would you let him stay with you?
Pardon me?
Would you let him stay with you?
Of course not.
Right. If I have a family member who resides with me in the current circumstances, and we are going through a matter that involves the court, of course that individual will reside with me. It's the same
4 murders?
Right?
Allegedly. 4 murders.
Allegedly. Thank you very much for the allegedly part. And I'm not prescribing.
No, he's not alleged. No. One second. He's not allegedly charged with 4 murders or allegedly. He's charged with 4 murders, right?
Okay,
now, whether or not one second. You've been running off with a lot of foolishness for a little while now, right?
No, you were talking foolishness. And you can't prove it.
Sir, I don't have to prove anything.
The nonsense. You were talking if you want to go
Anton,
okay, everybody just calm down.
But I mean, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm quite calm.
That's why you screaming at us?
Okay.
No, I'm addressing you talking nonsense.
1 second. Could you listen to me before you start?
We're running out of time. Let's make this really quick.
Neither Dwight are saying that people are guilty before the court finds them guilty. We're not saying that. We're saying that what was said in the newspaper about the presumption of innocence is so sacred that we can't do anything doesn't make sense to us.
That's not what he said, but that is not
That's
what he said.
That's what sacrosanct means.
You are making a false assumption. No. The context in which Mr. Parker spoke, and this is the nonsense you're talking and spewing on the airwaves, Stephen. The context in which Mr. Parker spoke was the fact that you have to be proven to be guilty. Therefore, your innocence is of the highest importance.
You're
it's
saying
of the
the same
highest
thing
value.
as me.
Until you are proven to be guilty, you cannot condemn someone and seek to make a provision in law based on your assumption. That's nonsense, and it's ignorance of the highest order, Stephen. Come on, man. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity, Dwight. God bless.
All right, thanks a lot. Hey, I hear all the lawyers doing their lawyering thing, and we're going to uphold our laws to the detriment of everybody in this country.
Not everybody,
these ones,
because they're
these
protective
ones
class.
are going to hurt more people than they help.
Dwight.
And we're working overtime to protect the people who are wreaking havoc in the country.
Dwight, I'm not even
right.
I'm not even on that.
And so yes, obey all the laws to
if everyone would
go right ahead. But we're gonna suffer.
Dwight, I'm not asking them to break any law. I'm saying that if you're saying that this is so important that you cannot tamper with it, what are the rest of us to do? If we are saying this is a problem,
bulletproof vests, bulletproof your vehicles, more alarms and more security, and just don't be driving next to hatchbacks and stuff.
Don't drive next to any
Japanese
vehicles
because those are always the ones, especially the silver ones.
But that's the thing. Sometimes
when you see them pull up behind you, let them pass.
Sometimes it's a Honda Accord. Sometimes it's a March.
Well, good luck to you. You gotta pray. Go out there on Monday to pray.
Yeah, and they probably gonna shoot up out there too.
No. Unless anyone is out on bail out there. Unless anyone's out on bail, then you'll be okay.
You telling me none of these crooks is
tell
going
the
to church?
people out on bail not to come pray.
Oh, but then they're the ones who need to pray.
No,
right?
but not with us.
The hospital is for the sick.
Don't come to pray with the national prayer.
There is nowhere
people.
safe, and I want everyone to know that there is nowhere safe. Right? There's no gender safe. There's no protective class. There's no vulnerable class. All of us are Bahamians, and if you are Bahamian and you live in the Bahamas, this affects you. So this idea where, because you live out west behind 30 gates and all type of bars and alarm and this and stuff, that you okay, it is a lie, it is a fallacy. All of this affects us every single day. Even if nobody ever gets shoot around you, when the economy collapses because tourists don't feel safe coming there, then what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Then your little house could be all corroded and dirty and dusty because ain't nobody here, ain't no money in the country, and then you got to go beg inside somebody else's country. But you all want to sit here and argue over the word sacrosanct. And I'm telling you what the word means. I'm saying, you say don't touch it, and I'm saying, well, what are we to do?
Yeah. Let's take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Then he jump back like Jack. If you up at Rainey's place, he'll be on your case. That's where they all dance around. When the sun goes down, they got a West End move. They got a West End groove.
Don't shop Sherwin Williams. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas.
Love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this. Real talk. To impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I'm gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
At RBC, we know buying your new ride is a very personal experience with many decisions to make. That's why we leave the car choice to you and ask that you leave the rest to one of our RBC Auto Finance specialists, trained to provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream car a reality. The RBC Auto Finance team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/lovemyride to connect with an RBC Auto Finance specialist in your area.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more. Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Nassau Cruise Port presents Phil Stubbs Live at the all-new Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater.
January 13th.
Gates open at 7 p.m. Showtime 9 p.m. Book your tickets now at BahamasEtickets.com.
General admission $50, 75 VIP.
Prepare to be blown away as we kick things off with one of the Bahamas' beloved artists. You're raking and scraping with Ira Storr, Nishi LS, and Phil Stubbs Live.
Sponsored by Kalik and Ron Ricardo. Nassau Cruise Port, the place to be.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
My name is Sam, and I don't mean no harm. He said with a blink, please buy me a drink. My pocket's out of sync. I'll tell you a story, let's take a walk. Let's talk old talk. was raining one morning as I was walking. I heard the froggies talk. He said the frogs they correct on a rainy morning. Frogs they correct.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Okay, so we're changing gears. We're going to bring down the temperature a little bit. And we're going to talk about your health and dermatology and some common skin issues here in the Bahamas. We are very pleased to have with us, first time, we have the dermatology specialist at Doctors Hospital, Dr. Ormanda Johnson. Dr. Johnson, good morning. Great to have you with us.
I feel like that's not how she pronounced it.
That's exactly what she told me. She told me that's right. Thank you, Dr.
It sounded
Ormanda.
like he's saying it very weird. He's not saying
I'm
Ormanda.
over-
He said it correctly. Ormanda. He's correct.
Yeah.
No,
Why
me
are
and you were
being-
saying Ormanda. He's saying Ormanda.
Oh, dear.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for being here. And congratulations. You're new to Doctor's Hospital, right?
Yes, fairly new. Well, thank you.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to talk about dermatology and skin issues. So define, I think people generally know what that is, but define dermatology for those who might not know what we're talking about.
What's the line?
So I'm a dermatologist, and that's a medical doctor who specializes in diagnosing and treating not just disorders of the skin, but also the hair and the nails. People don't realize that the hair and nails also comes under dermatology.
Is it because I know hair and nails are made of the same chemical, like what is it? It begins with KRC.
Oh, you've been talking about keratin and all of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah,
all that's
of that
related.
umbrella comes under us.
Excellent.
Right. So at what depth? So it's like if you, like, how would a person know? Maybe I should see a dermatologist about this, or should I see a general practitioner? Like if I have like a weird bump or a lesion, or what's the line?
So when I tell people, if you have any concerns on your skin, your hair, your nails, then you need to come to a dermatologist, particularly if you have concerns on maybe potential skin cancers. So you might have new skin growths or changing skin lesions. You need to book an appointment right away. When I say if you're not feeling good about the skin you're in, come on in.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good one. All right, so overall, what would you say about Bahamians and skincare and how we're doing these days? And has that changed over the years? Are we getting worse? Are we getting better? What would you say?
I would say to that, we're getting better. Particularly us women, what's the first thing you see when you meet someone? You see the skin, and skincare is huge. All right, we're getting better. We're getting better with our skin cleansing techniques. We're getting better with coming on into dermatologists to get treatments. Common treatments or common conditions are common, particularly acne. I would say that's the most common condition that I see, followed very closely by eczema.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I know a lot of people have eczema.
Absolutely.
And then I was gonna say rosacea, but that I feel like not as much. Definitely eczema. I know a lot of kids have it in the dry skin and stuff.
Let's talk about eczema. What is it exactly, and why are so many people affected by it here?
So eczema can be caused from many different reasons, okay? And sometimes it could be genetic. You might have a parent that has eczema, and it goes with a group of conditions what we call atopy. All right. So if you think of a triangle there, it'll be people who have eczema, who might have asthma, who might have hay fever. Sometimes it's also caused, you might have skin irritants, you might have harsh products you're using on your skin.
Wait, so is it like an autoimmune response or something, or?
Well, eczema is not so much an autoimmune. It could be more genetic factors and your environmental factors playing on it. So there are other conditions that are autoimmune, but not so much eczema.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are the common ways to deal with it? And can you ever get rid of it?
So
be it an oatmeal.
Sometimes eczema can actually go, but common ways to get rid of it is, what eczema is, you get this dry, flaky, scaly skin. So if you think of dry skin, what's the thing you want to do? You need to moisturize it. You need to use what we call emollients, which you're going to apply to that skin regularly and frequently.
So you're talking about like thick viscous lotion?
Oh, look at you. You sound like you a dermatologist. Oh,
No,
absolutely.
I took a
thick
fabric
things.
class.
You're your creams, your ointments. And not only just that, sometimes if you get flares, what we call flares of eczema, you may need to put things on your skin called topical steroids. And those are other treatments. You know, you start very low. I always tell patients, you think of it as a ladder. And you start maybe mild. You might have to, a mild topical steroid, and then you go up that ladder. And of course, there are other treatments for eczema. But those are the two mainstay treatments.
Right. Oh, no. You know what else?
What's that?
That a lot of Bahamians have, but they don't get keloids.
Absolutely.
And keloid skin, like not knowing if you have keloid skin to what level can you do certain things. Because you see people, they get the air pass and then they say you get a bubby in the back of the air and then they cut it off and every time you cut it off, it makes it worse.
Absolutely. So what keloid is just a scar.
Right.
And we as darker skinned people, we tend to scar more easily. So it's exactly what you say. You get this scar formation that kind of grows and can get larger. And same thing what you said. You can get it from insults. You can get it from even just scratching the skin sometimes. Wow. Well, yeah, my son, unfortunately, he gets mosquito bites. He gets a little scratch. He gets keloids. Not just you can have operations where you can get keloids. Anything that can cause like an insult or injury to the skin. And like you said, ways you can get rid of that is sometimes we put a little steroid injection in there. Yeah. There are a lot of ways that we do it. But the last way or resort that we try not to do is cut it back off. Because if you think about it, how did you get it in the first place? It's a scar. So you're probably going to get that keloid coming back again.
Yeah, usually the people who cut it off aren't medical professionals. They're like, oh, let me just cut it off to deal with it or whatever. And it exacerbates the problem.
Absolutely.
But you can safely remove them with, or you have to live with them forever.
No,
I mean,
you
there
do
are
not
tons of
have to-
people with them.
No, I've had one, and steroid injections. You can use the silicone scar sheets that you can put on it as well. Sometimes we freeze it if it's a smaller keloid. We can freeze it off. You do not have to live with keloids.
Yeah. Now, I've had the steroid treatments. They sting a lot. Or maybe it's because mines were large and on my face or whatever. So
Yeah, because sometimes we put like a local anesthetic, so it's not as
Hey,
bad.
there was a local anesthetic.
Well, look at you now.
But it was still, it stung.
Yeah.
It stung.
Well, everyone has a different tolerance level, you know. So some people, it's like a walk in the park. They sit there and there's no reaction to it at all.
Some people like tattoos. So.
Exactly.
So for the people out there walking around with what seems like scores of them, I mean, there is hope.
There is a lot of hope. Absolutely, there is hope. Like I said, I've had them before, and they're now gone. All right, so they can be treated.
Okay.
They're very treatable.
All right, we need to take a break for the news really quickly. We'll be back. We've got a lot more to talk with you about, and we've got our friends from the Humane Society here as well. So a lot more coming up in our 9 o'clock business hour. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
My name is Sam, and I don't mean no harm. He said with a blink, please buy me a drink. My pocket's out of sync. I'll tell you a story, let's take a walk. Let's talk old talk. Was raining one morning as I was walking. I heard the froggies talk. He said the frogs they correct on a rainy morning. The frogs they correct on a rainy morning. Good morning, how are you this morning? They was hopping and leaping and jumping and skipping.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, January 12th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up, we're going to be talking with the Bahamas Humane Society about Operation Potcake, which gets underway in just a few days. And we still have another pair of tickets to give away for Phil Stubbs live in concert tomorrow at Nassau Cruiseport Amphitheater.
Are you going to be there, Dwight?
I may just. But in the meantime, we're still talking with the dermatology specialist at Doctors Hospital, Dr. Amanda Johnson, and we're having a great conversation so far. Okay, so you mentioned, we got some text messages coming in, and I want to get to those in a bit, but you mentioned acne also being a major problem here. Is it just teenagers, or what are you seeing?
So the majority of people who suffer from acne are teenagers. It mainly starts during puberty and the teenage years. Right. But they're not the only ones, I'm afraid. You can even have it from infants. Babies can have
really?
acne. Absolutely. Because we have these units, these pilosebaceous glands, and they're from birth. So you can see children with it.
You're talking about the oil glands beneath the skin?
You're talking about these oil glands beneath the skin. Absolutely. And not only puberty or teenagers, it actually can start later in life, after the age of 25, in your 30s, your 40s. And
so this is beyond just the one-off pimple once in a while, right?
This is beyond the one-off. We say acne is something that's chronic, meaning it's not just the one-off. You can have it long-standing, and recurrent, meaning it can come back. All right? So you can get it. You mightn't have it for a while, but it sometimes can come back. And things that, flare it up can cause it, obviously, to come back.
What are the external factors that cause it, I guess, more so than internal? Because I imagine that it must be a genetic component to it.
Well, there are a lot of external factors. So a lot of times with us ladies, we love our makeup, but we have to be careful and make sure those makeups don't clog our pores. They're oil-free, So makeup could be one.
I thought the oil ones is the ones that don't run, right?
Yeah, but you want that oil free because remember now, you don't want that oil to further block up because you're already producing more oil in the skin. So other causes you find out, diet, there's always a role, what flares acne up? Some studies say chocolates.
Really?
Absolutely.
Is it now, I've also seen studies where they say dark chocolate is beneficial. So is the issue the milk and the sugar, or is the issue the chocolate, the flavor, the actual dark chocolate, the cacao itself?
Now, I don't think it's so much dark versus but this is the chocolate itself. But it's funny, interesting that you said that, because there's new studies coming out now that are putting milk allergies, actually, or milk causing acne.
Right.
So that's one of,
And there's people always say greasy food, and the teenagers eat so much greasy food, fries, that's part. Is that really
But no,
real?
I would debunk that one. Not so much the greasy food that you're putting. You'll see.
Yeah. It depends on how you eat it.
Right, but that
if you eat it with
so
your
much.
face,
Okay, now look at you. There you go.
So what about drinking more water? Does that really make a difference?
Well, guess what? Water makes a difference for just about everything. So absolutely, you want to hydrate. You want to get that water in there. Your 8 glasses of water, not just your skin. Remember now what we talked about here. We said your hair, your nails, everything looks better with water. Little water sprinkled. There we go.
Now, before we jump to hair, right? One last thing. So, I know a lot of times people, when they have acne, they'll try to dry out the oil.
Okay.
on their face, right? But the oil is there for a reason. So like what's the balance of keeping your skin both, I guess I'm going to say hydrated, but also not so oily that it produces pimples or anything.
Right. So remember now, so you have different skin types. That's the first thing. So not everybody is the same. So some people naturally have drier skin, and they are the ones who more need to put moisturizers on. Well, everybody needs moisturizer, but they might need extra moisturizer. Right. And then some people have more oilier skins. So you might, not so much using astringent because that might dry it out more. So you kind of have to tailor. I always say with acne, not one treatment is the same.
No more benzoyl peroxide? Is that
No, I'm not going to tell you that now because benzoyl is still a mainstay. We still use benzoyl. For our mild cases, benzoyl peroxide is still a very good treatment that you can use.
All right. Well, so now, for persons who, particularly women, who suffer from, like, what they say, they don't have no more edges, is that something that they'd come to you for?
Absolutely.
Or Dwight.
Or
Dwight doesn't have edges either.
Look, Dwight, I'm not going to let him do you like that.
Oh, boy. He's going to turn off his mic for the rest of the show.
Early in the morning.
To help you, Dwight.
I can help Dwight and all persons who are suffering from hair loss.
Oh, yeah?
So it's not
I think I'm a
just-
little too far gone.
Yeah, you might be a little too far gone, Dwight. But so hair loss for us women and men, that's catastrophic. Our hair, we always say the crowning glory. So hair loss, it's a wide range of reasons.
How much of it is stress? And when I say stress, I mean actual, like, you're doing too much to your hair.
So some actual hair loss can be caused by that. So we call that traction alopecia. Like you're using your braids or they're too tight, or your weaves might be a little too tight. Absolutely. So that is a type. I mean, there's so many causes. And
Traction alopecia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always tell people, the skin, the hair, the nails can really mirror what's happening in your body.
They even say that with men who wear baseball caps too often, right? That does a lot to your hair as well.
Right, because with hair loss, not just that, you can get, say, someone coming in, they might actually have it from thyroid problems. Yeah, they might have an underactive or overactive thyroid. They might be deficient in minerals, might be iron, maybe zinc.
Iodine as well, right?
Sorry?
Is it iodine? Never mind. Go ahead. Let me stop interrupting. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. And then also, you've always heard people say, "Oh, you've got a little alopecia there." So alopecia is another common cause of hair loss, and that is, I think you mentioned that term, autoimmune condition. So that is one of your autoimmune conditions, and all that means is your body's natural defenses, the police system, the one that polices, is attacking parts of the body that it shouldn't, all right? So it's attacking those hair follicles, which is causing your hair to fall out, all right? But the thing with autoimmune diseases, they're linked. So they can be linked with other things. They can be linked with the same, vitiligo, which causes those white patches in the skin.
And that is an autoimmune condition?
That's another autoimmune condition.
Really?
Absolutely. So with vitiligo, you're attacking those melanocytes that cause the pigment in our skin. Other things that are can go with it is type 1 diabetes. Yeah, there's so many other things that can link with it as well.
And with vitiligo, can you treat that? What can you do about that? Because we're seeing that with a lot of people around here.
Oh yeah, so a lot of people remember. I'm not going to say allegedly because they said Michael Jackson had it, didn't they?
Right.
So a lot of people have vitiligo, but successfully live with it. Remember that supermodel, what's her name, Winnie Harlow?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of treatments we can do further because, like you said, it's depigmentation of the skin. You get those white spots. So common ones we can use on the skin, topical steroid treatments. They're mainstays of.
Do they slow it down or do they reverse it?
I would say slow down. And sometimes, could slow it down.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we got a texter asking about what products to use. What do you recommend? Does it depend on a case-by-case basis? They talk about fair skin versus dark skin. Can you use the same products? What do you say to people who just don't know what to do?
So with regards, I'm taking that question is with products used with regards to your
just
skin,
maintaining healthy skin.
Yeah. So I always
can you just use soap and water?
Well, guess what? For acne, we always say the first thing to do is wash your face with simple soap and water. Sometimes we get so worked up on our products, the name of the products, the price of the products. You don't have to have the most expensive product to be effective. I always tell people, you don't need that $200 product to get the job done. So a basic routine, washing your face.
Now, my question is, right now, I know sometimes it's just marketing, right? But I also know that some soap I would only wash my hand with, and barely that, because it leaves your skin either super dry,
right?
It leaves a lot of scum in the tub or whatever. Should I be concerned about looking for a particular ingredient when I'm picking out a face soap? Right? Like, is there, I know like with shampoo, they'll be like, oh, this one has sulfites or whatever. Is there a particular thing that I should be looking for? This has oil in it, or it doesn't have oil, or it has perfume, or what should I be looking for?
So with regards to soaps now, remember they can be very irritant at times,
Right.
okay? So you want to use a soap that I always say is as sensitive, or they market for sensitive skin, or doesn't contain a lot of fragrance or dyes, etc., particularly for the face.
Right.
Because there's so many products in them. You know, it's hard. You could probably have 20 products, and you could potentially be allergic to one of them.
And you don't even know which one.
And you don't know, because I love Dove. I mean, I'm not going to say that, you know, oh, hell, I just did it, didn't I? But, you know, Dove has the original or the sensitive one.
Yeah.
Simple one, not expensive. You know, it still has a hydrating factor in it.
Olive Olay is the expensive one.
Olive Olay is not as
dropping the product names.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. But hey,
I use that that makes you feel
all
better.
say
They all.
dermatologist recommended, right?
No,
Okay.
no, they don't.
Well, let me those two that you mentioned. But let's take this call really quickly as we are running out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen. And good morning to the doctor.
Hi.
Dr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a quick question relating to what you call it, a plaque psoriasis. Can she speak to that, and if whether or not she treats it? I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Plaque psoriasis.
Okay, so plaque psoriasis is a form of psoriasis. So you have different types of psoriasis. It's one of the more common ones. And as for do I treat it? Yes, I do. So psoriasis is one that can be genetic linked. At times you might have a parent or maybe even a grandparent with psoriasis, and you get this thick, scaly plaque. Sometimes they could have like a little silvery a topping to it. And treatments, there are a lot of treatments for it, but what you have to take in mind is where it is located on the body, how much of the body is involved, extensive, you know. And psoriasis is one of those who really affect your quality of life. You know, if you see these thick plaques and you can have them on the face and people are looking at them, this can affect you, self-esteem issues, etc.
And people not
And
wanting
you really cannot, you know, diminish what psoriasis can do, or eczema, or any of the other ones. And in terms of treatments, there are lots of treatments, but like I said, it has to be tailored.
Yeah.
You can use your steroids again. You can use your vitamin D analogs. There are a lot of treatments for it. Absolutely.
But you need to see a specialist.
You
Come and
need to
a
see a
dermatologist.
dermatologist. You need to come and see me.
You guys are having a discount right now for the month of January. The month of January almost over?
Well, we still have a lot of time.
Well, you're at Doctors Hospital West mainly, is that right? Or
So
where are you?
I'm
exactly?
two locations.
Okay.
Doctors Hospital West on Blake Road, as well as Luton Clinic, Dalzell Street.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because the theme this month at Doctors Hospital is, and I love this theme, a new year, a better you. And what better way to get a better you, I say, than starting to improve the largest organ of the body and the one that person see?
The brain.
The skin. You better stop. It's the skin.
All right, so tell us about that, how that works and how the special is going to work as well.
Right. So during this month, Doctors Hospital is offering a 15% discount on your initial consultation with myself, the dermatologist, for persons who do not have insurance. And that's for the month of January. All right.
So they need to hurry up, go do it. Since January, I feel like January almost over, so they need to hurry up, do it.
They need to come on over and book. So you can, like I said, you can find me Blake Road. The number there is 302-4710. Or Luton Clinic, Dalzell Street, which is 302-3321. And you could also make appointments online at clinics, with an S, www.doctorshosp.com.
I have two more questions.
Really quickly, Steve.
I keep them very brief.
Go ahead.
Have I don't see shifting clouds as much. Has that been reduced? And why is that? And then also,
We have a texter asking about that right now.
What is scabies? And that's the two questions. But do the shifting cloud one first. I feel like scabies is the last important question.
So you don't see
I don't see it as much as I used to see shifting clouds.
Shifting clouds is still there, and that's when the body, you get this overgrowing of like bacteria. So no, I still see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it probably as often as the other conditions, but I still see it.
And what's a good treatment for shifting clouds? What's a good treatment?
So topical treatments again when you come into us. And then you were talking about scabies. Oh my goodness, one of my least favorite ones, because scabies is so highly contagious and infectious, and that's caused by the scabies mite. So the classic one, you get people itch, particularly at night, because that's when the scabies mite comes out.
Yeah.
All right, and when you have that, the entire household needs to be treated. You need to wash all your linens, wash all of your beds, spreads, and we have a treatment called permethrin, and you basically have to put that from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and everybody in the household, like I said, needs to be treated.
Wow. So people are sending us lots of very specific conditions, so they need to come and see you.
Give them your number again.
Absolutely.
Give them your number
Give
one
me
more
the
time.
number. All right. So they can come to see me at Doctors Hospital West on Blake Road. The number is 302-4710, 302-4710. And Loudon Clinic, that's right opposite Doctors Hospital, but you enter from Dasrell Street side. Number for that is 302-3321. 302-3321.
And they can also make appointments online at clinics.
Online. That's the
Dr. Shaw.
clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Okay. Dr. Amanda Johnson, hopefully we'll get to talk with you again.
Gentlemen,
Thank
I
you
had
so
a
much.
pleasure.
It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure, definitely. And hopefully this will be, maybe a regular thing. We can, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
All
see.
right.
We'll make it happen.
Thank you again. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with a whole lot more Morning Glen business right after this.
All right.
Oh, how we miss him so. Oh, yo, 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 yo. They call him Lassie Doe. Memories linger on and on. He said, keep the culture, the Reagan scrape fever while I'm gone. For time has come and I must part to the other side, make a new start with quadrille dancing queen.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Ready to save? you can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
When I'm walking down them rocky, narrow dirt roads with a basket of potatoes on my head. Oh, don't you worry, I come from down home. That's where the island folks bake their potato bread. They bake it down home, outside in the Dutch oven down home. Wrapped in banana leaf down home. My, it tastes so sweet down home. If you're looking for a little entertainment, I'll tell you, you don't have to travel far. Cause them rake and scrape boys will excite you. On weekends they play at the neighbor's bar. They'll make you dance down home. They'll send you in a trance down home. You'll shuffle your feet down home. Cause the rake and scrape so sweet down home. When your body's feeling low and run down, and you think you need a little pick-me-up, or some love vine, 5 fingers and strong bark, then every day.
This is me?
Yeah. We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. And Operation Potcake, it is here. It is time, and here to tell us about it from Bahamas Humane Society. Very pleased to have back with us Kim Arana and Percy Grant. Happy New Year to both of you. Good to see you.
Thank
Feels
you.
like you were just here a few days ago. But hey, okay. So it's here.
Yep, the countdown is on. It starts on the 18th. Our teams arrive on the 16th and the 17th.
So next week.
And on the 18th, we start, and we've got, as you know, 5 clinics, one on Kemp Road, one on East Street, one in Carmichael, one on Farrington Road. Well, I don't, actually, technically, it's not Farrington
not
Road
really
anymore.
Farrington Road,
It's where the Punch used to be.
The old Punch.
And then the Bahamas Humane Society is the
Humane
5th clinic.
Society, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So remind folks what's going to be happening and what they need to be doing.
Okay, so we want to spay and neuter over 3,000 animals, guys. So we need your help, because if you have a pet and you agree or are happy to have them spayed, please, or neutered in the case of a male, please bring them in to your local clinic. To go out and pick up every single solitary dog and every single solitary cat is going to reduce the amount of animals that we can do, because it's time consuming. And here's the kicker. If you bring your own animal in, well, you bring in an animal, it could be a street dog that you've got friendly with, but you feel, hey, this guy needs to be neutered. If you bring them in, you become eligible for a daily reward drawing. So to begin with, on every day, every clinic, there will be a $30 food certificate to or gift card to Super Value at all the clinics. Then at the end, we take everybody's names, put them in, including the people who won the gift certificate in the interim, put all the names in a bowl, and there will be 3 grand prizes. There will be gift certificates of a higher value for gas, and there will also be a flat screen TV and other things, because I'm still getting donations in, so I can't tell exactly what the prizes are, because I'm hoping that when people hear this, they're going to phone me up and say, hey, we'll give you a washing machine, or hey, we'll give you... Please remember that these are the people that are bringing us in these pets.
we're all having a tough time now, so they're probably not looking for what I call exotic prizes. I think household prizes right now is what people really want.
Right.
Gas, electricity bill,
Right, utilities.
utilities,
useful gifts.
useful gifts. So
Like our
please,
raffle was, yeah.
yeah. So
Especially in the middle of January.
exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
So if you bring in 3 different dogs or 3 different cats, then your name goes in the bowl 3 times. So if you bring in 10 different dogs to one clinic, your name goes into that bowl 10 times. So you have a bigger chance of winning.
There's gonna be some dog catchers out there.
Yeah, but I don't want to see the dog being dragged in by one leg because that will nullify your eligibility if I see any cruelty involved. But this is an incredible chance for us to reduce the number of unwanted animals on our street, and everybody's complaining about there being packs of dogs on your street corner.
Everybody.
It looks like it's going up.
Of course it's going up because the amount of unwanted births is insane. We are being invaded by boxes of puppies and kittens.
Just this morning.
More?
Yep.
Wow.
Luckily only one. But
Yeah.
It was,
But so we you see, the thing is, right, sadly, the average life for a street dog in the Bahamas is 2 years. Because they get diseases, they get run over. Some charming people tie them up and starve them. So we have, they don't last very long, but while they're alive, they start reproducing at 6 months old. And a female potcake can have easily up to 8-10 puppies when she's 6 months old. So her babies, when they're 6 months old, can do the same. So let's assume that half her puppies are female and half are male. So if she had 10 puppies and 5 are girls, and at 6 months old, they can do the same thing. We were already in hundreds coming from one dog. So by stopping them being able to reproduce, we immediately cut down the quantity of animals in the next 6 months. If we do this massive spay and neuter in 5 different areas, we'll sort of break the top of the iceberg. And then we will have smaller events, and Bark will pick up a lot of it. And I believe if we keep on doing this and we have the sponsorship of the general public, and of the government, you might be inspired to do a little more next time. We can actually eradicate this problem in 5 years without any euthanasia, any cruelty, just by birth control.
Wow. And I think you mentioned it, vaccinations are included as part of it.
Vaccinations will be included. Your dog will have his ears cleaned. His nails will be trimmed. He will have flea and tick treatment.
As well.
So when your dog, all the dogs will leave with that treatment. But if it's your dog, it's a heck of a deal. You get them spayed or neutered. You get them. They have a complete vet check. They have all the shots they need. They leave clean and adorable, and it costs you nothing. Now, if you feel it in your heart to give us something, we will gratefully appreciate it. But you don't have to.
Now, if the dog's already neutered or spayed and they'd like to have the other treatments, is that a possibility at all? No, this is only...
No.
This is only for that initiative.
But you could reach out to the Humane Society individually, and if it's your dog and it's like we have people on the food bank, and then each dog will be considered individually.
Okay.
Or your neighbor dog.
Well, if your neighbor dog happens to wander into your yard and you bring him to me to have his spayed or neutered, we don't ask any questions when these dogs come in.
This texter is asking if this is the time the dogs are mating. Now, is there a season, or does it work like that?
No,
or is it just depends on when that individual dog is in
no.
his
Every 6 months.
It's just like humans.
Right. It's not
There's
like
no particular time for it does seem that cats have more babies in the spring. We call it, kitten time, but puppies seem to just be produced right the way through the year.
But cats could do, and cats could, would be called polyestrous, so they could have 2 sets of kittens in a short space of time.
Oh, wow.
So that's interesting. And then, of course, that's like the gestation period is like 63 days.
Mm.
And then, so then they.
It's not very long.
Not long at all.
Not very long. And then they drop, and then in 6 months, they could go again.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping that this Operation Parquet brings out the most responsible in Bahamians by bringing their dogs to not just to the Humane Society station where we're doing cats.
We're only doing cats at the shelter.
And then the other stations to take their dogs and to be responsible to have them neutered. There's no use being frustrated and getting us frustrated. Now, at least, let me do it like this. I think people are now realizing the frustration because they call us and I am on the phone every day with people who are frustrated.
Wow.
They're pulling their hair out because they don't know these packs of dogs. Where even though they contributed to it, they were the ones that didn't spay, and they let the dogs out of the yard to crap in somebody else's yard. The dog get caught, a copulate or get impregnated by some other dog in the neighbor's yard, and then they call and say, "Oh, dog's in my yard. I don't want it anymore." But they are the irresponsible people, and we need Bahamians now to really stop and think and to realize that this is the best thing ever. And to take advantage of it.
Now, if you are having a challenge getting the dog to one of the stations, like the dog won't get in the car.
We will come and get the dogs, but you are not eligible for the in-house raffle.
Okay.
You want to win the prizes, you have to bring the animal in yourself.
You got to bring them in.
That is the incentive to get people to do it. So that just imagine if we had to pick up 3,000 animals, how many truckloads that is. So
how many
we need help.
How many chutneys.
Yeah.
All right, so the volunteers, everybody's here, or
no? They start arriving on the 15th. I think the first batch.
Monday,
15th, 16th, then by the evening of the 17th, everybody's here.
And again, how many people we're talking about?
120 people are coming in, and then we have close to 100 locals, and people are still volunteering. And incidentally, if anybody is listening to this and they need to volunteer, I need what I affectionately call runners. So I need people who can drive all over the island, taking things to different shelters for me. And if you can be a runner and pay for your own gas, all the better. If you can't, then we will supply. But remember, this is not Kim's party. This is a charity that we've raised, I would say, probably close to $400,000 to make this happen. It's very expensive. The meds are very expensive. It doesn't just happen in a blink of an eye. We've been working on this, I think, since April or maybe March. And we have a warehouse full of supplies that are going. Oh, hey, if there's any doctors out there, we are desperate for IV stands. We'll borrow them. We'll label them responsibly, and we'll pick them up if we have to, and we will return them. But we're desperate for IV stands.
All right, so the runners, you're looking for people with their own vehicles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, call me at 357-4318. That's my phone number. If you can help me, call me. Don't call me right now because I'm not going to answer the phone.
Right. Oh, boy.
I'd get into trouble by these guys.
These texts.
Oh, they're the nasty ones?
Not nasty, but listen to this. Okay, so research shows that spay-neuter can increase the risk of joint disorders and certain cancers. My friend also had a dog that died after being spayed. How can your guest convince the public that it's safe?
Okay, I think you have to realize the percentage of animals that are adversely affected. I was watching TV this morning, and that wonderful talk show host, Strachan, Michael Strachan.
Right.
His daughter is 19 and she's suffering from brain cancer. Now, does that mean that all our 19-year-old children are going to suffer from brain cancer? No. But it's a possibility. They did everything right with that girl. They fed her normal food. She didn't do anything weird. She got brain cancer. If spaying and neutering gives some of the street dogs joint problems, It is sad. I
Yeah.
don't think they will live long enough to actually experience those problems, but it will stop another thousands of dogs being sick.
Yeah.
So there is, yes, and there is a very small percentage of animals who do pass away after spay and neuter. It's a very, very minuscule amount, but again, it has to be worth the risk because it is insane. Let me point out to your texter, if we had responsible animal owners who kept their dogs in their gardens, and when their female went on heat, she didn't go walkie pies and fall in love with 12 men and have 16 puppies, I wouldn't be here. You, the owners, are the reason I am here because you are not responsible. And get angry with me. I really don't mind.
Oh, all right. Hey,
but when I say it,
a lot of complications come from people not giving their animal vet care at an early age, starting off with their vaccine starting at 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it starts in 10 days they should be wormed, and then in 6 weeks they start their vaccinations, and there's two sets of vaccines in 2-week intervals, and so people
we can't get them to take in their children to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
So it
and
is.
all of these things are trickle-down effect as to the inability for a healthy body,
right?
When it becomes intrusive when they're going to be doing spay and neuter and all of those things, then it becomes an issue. So you may have a dog that unfortunately may die from that, but it's not.
It's very unlikely. It's really unlikely.
That's going to happen. No.
Yeah.
Especially, you have a healthy dog, but then.
But for instance, if you don't take care of your dog and it gets Ehrlichia, that's a disease that thins down the blood. And then for some reason your dog passes away when she's spayed because she had Ehrlichia. Whose fault is it?
Yeah, because it's a tick disease.
Whose fault is it?
Yeah.
All right. We got a phone call. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Thanks.
Well, I want to say that I am a dog lover, animal lover. I love dogs especially. And I have one dog. I didn't get where I can take this one to be spayed. Let me tell you how serious it is. If people see dogs on the road, they try to catch them and they bring them to me. I take them in.
Well, God bless you.
I have to get them spayed or neutered. I can't take that. Okay?
What part of town do you live in?
I can tell you where I live. I live right on the corner of across from Big Boys Cafe.
That's on
Robinson Road, that area.
On Robinson Road.
That's Jumper Brothers, or
pardon?
the corner with Jumper Brothers.
No, right on the corner on Bailey School. Right on the
that
corner
side.
of White
Okay,
School.
I know. Okay, I understand.
All right, so
So
what's
where
the
would
nearest
her
center
closest center would be?
Should be East Street.
East Street, I think.
East Street.
Yeah.
East Street?
Yeah.
And I hear you say you're looking for runners. Normally, I don't know how late you're open. Sometimes I work late, sometimes I don't. And so if you're looking for runners like Saturday, I would love to offer my time.
Okay.
And
Well,
let me
thank
tell you how serious I am. If I have $50 in my wallet, my dogs need food, they're going to get food before my children. My children would
I
always
hear you. God bless
find
you.
something, but my dogs can't always find the food. For me, the dog
Exactly. The dog can't make a sandwich.
All right, so again, you're
Exactly.
thinking that the Our Lady's site is the one that's going to be closer, DeVoe and East Street? Or
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
part of East Street.
Our Lady.
Our Lady.
Our Lady.
Our Ladies.
So DeVoe Street and East Street.
That's DeVoe, yeah.
Yeah. Or if you can get to Native Baptist on St. James Road, you
Yes,
think?
St. James Road.
That's a little further.
That's
It's
a little
further?
further
Okay.
for her.
Right.
For her,
No, anyone is good for me.
Yeah? Okay, so
Well,
those,
you can bring your dogs in, one at a time every day, or fill your car up.
No, all the other rest are already done. It's just this last one
Okay.
that somebody bought for me.
Well, you can bring her in on the 18th. She can be one of the first, and I would take her to the one on East Street.
You want to give her?
I'll go East Street.
You want?
It's a male, so.
Oh, that's nice and easy. We'd be happy to do him for you.
Well, thank you so much, and you will see me there. Like I say, people just call me the dog lady. It's okay.
They call me the crazy dog lady.
All
So,
right. And Kim, if you want to give her a number again, it's for runners.
Yeah, my personal number is 357 4318.
357
4318.
4318.
And if you want to give me a call a little bit later on today, maybe around about 12 o'clock or this evening, I'll be home. We can see when you're free, and I'm sure I can use some help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
God bless you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, too, for being so considerate for our four-legged. I call them my children.
Okay. Wonderful
Okay,
stuff.
thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. You don't
Yep.
hear that too often around here, but
No,
that's
you don't.
beautiful. That's
It's
beautiful.
good to help volunteers.
All right. So remind folks of the dates. This is not a very big window.
No, it's the 18th, 19th, 2021. Then there are 2 days where we're not spaying and neutering. Yeah. And we pick up again 24, 25, 26, 27. So it's 8 full days. Now, if you have any questions, you write to operationpotcake242@gmail.com. Yes. And we will answer your questions. If you're donating, if you want to donate time, if you want to donate money, if you want to donate stuff. I'm looking for people who want to do some baked goods for me to take in to the different clinics to give the people working there a nice surprise. I mean, we're providing food for them for lunch and for breakfast, but if somebody feels like bringing in some cookies or, for a fruit cake or donuts or something, I think they would greatly appreciate it.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. And again, this is, how often do you do Operation Pot Cake?
Not often enough. We plan on, there were a lot of factors. We did it in 2013 and 14. There were a lot of factors that made it difficult to do, and we stopped doing it. That was a big mistake, because if we'd gone on doing it, we wouldn't be having to do it this year. We will continue doing this for as long as necessary. We'll continue doing it in a smaller way until there are less dogs and Bark can do it without additional assistance. But right now, one mobile clinic cannot tackle the problem. But if we can get the numbers down, then they can tackle the problem. Then we have another 20 islands, basically, to worry about, don't we?
Right.
We have Eleuthera, we have Andros, we have the Exumas.
Somebody's asking about Freeport.
Well,
Grand Bahama.
actually, Grand Bahama has its own
Humane Society.
Bahamas Humane, its own Grand Bahama Humane Society. They get very, very small subsidies. They need a lot of help.
Oh, wow.
Their problem is that there are lots of dogs but less people to adopt. The executive director there is a wonderful lady called Tip Burrows. She works really hard, and she needs help. And maybe if we can get our problems sorted out, we can go over and help her. Or maybe now that we've got the format, she can have her own Operation Pot Cake, because government this time is very supportive of us doing this. They're not coughing up money, but they are giving us support, which is already a big thing.
Yeah. So how often do you think you need to do it? Every other year, or?
I think we need to do it constantly once we get everything under control.
Right.
But because
Constantly,
there won't
like
be
what,
as
once a year, or even more frequently?
Well, we'd go from community to community to community nonstop.
Okay.
And once we could get subsidies,
Yeah.
somebody to sponsor it. Once we could get sponsors, we could just continue. I
Okay.
think it should be a continuous thing.
But not 5 clinics across the island.
Right. All right. Let's see if we can take this one final call and then remind folks of where we're going to be seeing Operation Potgate Clinics. Folks, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, yes, good morning. So how are you?
Doing well.
Okay, I called you. I was trying to reach you yesterday when you had Mr. Stubbs on, Phil Stubbs, but I can't reach you. I try to find from you, call you, I try to find where in Nassau I can find the CDs. I want to his gospel CDs, but I can't find his CDs. I don't know where to find his CDs.
Oh my God.
That's a good question. I would say try Googling. They might be surprised. But if I get the information, I will let you know. But I know a lot of his stuff is online. But to buy the CDs, I am not too sure.
There are no record stores, sir.
Right. Not anymore. Nothing significant.
There's no store that handles, I think, just that. So.
Right. Not specifically. But some places do just have, like, if you try downtown, some of the gift stores.
Nobody wants the gospel album. They're not going to carry.
Phil Stubbs used to be an
luck.
inspector at the Bahamas Humane Society.
Oh, really?
He started off, yep.
Yeah, okay. All right. Excellent. All right. So one more time, remind folks of the 5 clinics.
5 clinics: East Street, Kemp Road, Carmichael, Farrington Road, and the Bahamas Humane Society. Questions, address them to operationpotcake242@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. 3,000.
And you want to give us stuff, please do.
Hopefully. Come on.
more.
Let's do this. At least 3,000.
At least 3,000. And also, just very quickly, I would like to point out to any naysayers, even if you don't like animals, this will let you see less animals, and it will make us look better to the eyes of the tourists who are sick to death of seeing stray dogs running around in packs, and some of them mangy and not well fed, and that by having less animals, we will not have that problem.
Yeah. Okay. Keep up the great work that you all are doing. Kim Arana, Percy Grant, thank you so much. Operation Potcake, January 18th through 27th, folks.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you all again next month.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break. We've got one more pair of tickets to the Phil Stubbs concert to give away when we get back. This is Morning Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Should see them. Oh, how they grin as I look for food, tipping over garbage bins. They don't love me, they only know me when they need me. They don't love me, they only know me when they need me. As a puppy, they cuddle me. Now I'm grown, they leave me on my own. I roam the streets at night, encounter lots of fights. It's no fun when you're on the run. They don't love me, they only know me when they need me. I tell you, they don't love me, they only know me when they need me. I wonder why.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The government commended the Central Bank of the Bahamas' recent relaxation of mortgage indemnity requirements, saying the move aligns with the Davis administration's efforts to facilitate home ownership. Earlier this month, the Central Bank announced it would give financial institutions the control to set lower down payment requirements for residential mortgages, as it removed the mortgage indemnity insurance stipulation for borrowers to qualify for reduced equity or down payment amount on residential mortgages. In a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister, it said, quote, "We welcome the Central Bank of the Bahamas' recent decision to ease residential mortgage guidelines. This policy change is a commendable step that aligns with our efforts." The statement comes following a tour of the construction site at the new Renaissance Affordable Housing Subdivision in what was once the Carmichael Village subdivision. Given that the Bahamian economy is far larger than the number of people who are actually in the country on an annual basis through tourism, Bahamians need to own a share of the projects that we know as foreign direct investment. That's according to CEO of Fidelity Bank, Gowan Bowe. Bowe, speaking at the Rotary Club of West Nassau's annual general meeting, said Bahamians' top priorities need to be saving and investing to build wealth, not to simply work to earn money. Bowe says the Bahamians should be able to be 25% stakeholders in projects like Bahamar and Atlantis. Read more on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. And 1 year after announcing that it would be using crowdfunding to make it a little simpler to invest in real estate and receiving provisional approval from the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, the board of directors and executive team of real estate financial technology company Acreage revealing that they are still awaiting full approval from the regulator. Acreage saying that for about 4 years, the company has been in constant communication with the Securities Commission to ensure that their internal processes are legally and financially compliant and are in line with global best practices. It has Acreage has answered and responded to and provided all information and documents requested by the SCB. Though they have yet to receive full approval to begin operations, they're confident that their business model will usher in a new era of real estate investment and ownership for the average Bahamian. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Thursday, your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 470 shares, closing at 425 unchanged. Cable Bahamas moving 580 unchanged at 420. And Commonwealth Bank moving 500, closing at 545 unchanged. Finco moving 100, closing at 1280 unchanged. Consolidated Water down 14 cents to 655, and Emira Incorporated down 2 cents, closing at 935. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,852.45, down 0.16. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Okay, let's do this really quickly. This is going to be simple. This is going to be the easiest trivia question yet. So, all you have to do is answer this question correctly, and you could win a pair of tickets to go to the Phil Stubbs concert tomorrow night. Phil Stubbs lives in Grand Bahama, but where is he from? Which island in the Bahamas is he from? His family, everybody, is from this island. Name it, and you've got it. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Caller, do you have the answer to our question?
Cat Island.
Say it again.
Cat Island.
You are correct. Cat Island. Thank you very much. Stay on the line. We need your name, number, and email address for the producer. You got 2 tickets to go tomorrow night to the concert at the amphitheater there at Nassau Cruiseport. Congratulations. Stay on the line for us. Okay, stay right there for us. There you go. That was easy, right? There. So we hopefully folks are going to have a great time tomorrow at the concert. Stephen Hanna, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Yep.
As always, I'll see you next week, Friday. And I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a safe weekend. And we don't want to have to talk about murders on Monday. Please.
Good luck.
Please. Okay. On the clock with Aaron Green next.